3 out of 3. There we go. Okay, so I think the Twitch is working now. Okay. Turn the Twitter off. Okay, turn restream. I'm just gonna close everything else out. Okay, I just want the Twitch and chess. Okay. Wow, okay. It's recursively. I should maybe pop up the chess on a separate window. There we go. Let me try this. Okay, I think it should be close. Okay, OBS here. Okay. Okay, we're gonna turn the live coaching here, there. Okay, so now I just need the chess.com like that. I'm sorry, I'm gonna run to the restroom, be right back.
No worries, man.
Okay, Ezra, you have a chess.com account? Or actually, let me. Okay. Everything seems to be working. I think he disconnected. Okay. Okay, so we'll have the Discord call right here.
Yo, my internet crapped out for half a
Cool.
second.
So why don't you just queue up on ladder, and I'll spectate your game, and I'll just provide live commentary. So I'll just like,
Okay, cool.
yeah, I'll basically just like yap.
So play online.
Yeah, just go queue up for a 10-minute game on ladder, and I'm gonna see if I can spectate you. Okay, so Discord calls here, and my Twitch is over there in the back. Okay, cool. I think the setup makes sense. Yeah, I think you got to go with the bong cloud. Take a hit of the bong.
Yeah, yeah, dude. Homeboy's like, and I got a friend of mine that's like, I told him about this. He's like, you gotta have him teach you the bong
Bong
cloud.
cloud, the bong cloud. I could actually teach you how to win the. I'll teach you lines in the bong cloud.
Well,
The trick
the
is
bong
basically
cloud, like, go ahead.
yeah. The trick to winning with the bong cloud is to close the position. So what you have to do is like not allow pawn breaks. You have to like deny the enemy from trading pawns at all costs. And basically, if there's no pawn trade, there's no open lines. And then if there's no open lines, that doesn't actually matter where your king is, because they can't attack it. Basically, it is like the long and short of like how to get like a manageable position from the bong cloud. Okay.
Yeah, I'm down to just like cheese some noobs.
You're
Yeah,
down to
we're at
cheese
800
some noobs.
elo.
Okay. So are you queuing up? Are you queuing up right now? Also, send me a friend. Do me a favor. Send me a friend request on chess.com. The name is number one chess stream. Number one chess stream, like a single.
I'm in a game. Where the fuck do I do that?
Or you could just resign. You could just like resign, and
Yeah.
just send me a friend request for a second. Actually, spectate you. Hey Liam, good to have you back. What's going on, dude? Doing some live coaching here today. We're gonna cheese some noobs. The chess.com ladder.
Okay, so
Send me a friend request.
we're in the fucking interface doing
So we're just
social friends.
yeah.
Friend link. And I'll just send that to you.
Okay.
Can I swear on your stream? Are we like family friendly or like what's
No,
the?
we're not friend. We're not.
Okay. I mean, I'm not gonna be too crazy, but
Yeah. Just nothing that would get us arrested. Okay, how about that?
okay. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Okay. I sent you a friend request.
Okay, I see it.
Yeah, just go ahead and accept that friend request. Chess.com. Accept the friend request. Do me a favor, just go ahead and accept that friend request real quick.
It's like making me confirm my email for a full account just by
Yeah,
like,
you
paying for
gotta.
the service. So
Yeah, it's annoying, but you gotta do it. Yeah.
I've just been like, for context for the stream, I've just been playing against myself for the last week in my room.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want?
I mean, I've played in the past with just friends, but
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I will.
nothing serious.
I'll reveal
Okay.
like the playbook today. Okay, you're gonna do some pub stomping on the ladder today. You're gonna spawn camp and get fucking go on a 30 kill streak. You're gonna
Hell yeah.
yeah.
Let's fucking go, dude.
Yeah. You're about to go on a pub stomp. Okay.
Okay.
Did you?
So
Are you my
10
friend?
minutes.
Yeah. So go ahead and.
I did accept.
So go ahead. Okay, so go ahead and queue up a game on the ladder now. I'll see if I can spectate you. Spectate your game, basically. Okay, so I'm at
Play
Discord here.
online. Yeah, just let me know when you're ready. And
Yeah,
I'll
I'm
start.
ready. Queue for a 10-minute game, by the way. Not 5 minutes. Queue
Yeah,
for
10
rapid.
minute.
Yeah, queue for a 10-minute rapid game. 600 rated. Yeah, that looks about right.
Okay, so like here is that the meme?
The what?
So like the pawn e4 is that
Yeah, wait 1 second. Let me see if I
their
could.
start,
Let me see.
or-
Let me see if I could. Yeah, just play whatever you like for now. I'm gonna figure out how to spectate.
Oh, game aborted.
And the friends
Cool.
live on the find them, click their name, choose to watch or follow. Oh, okay. Friend, okay. Watch. There you go. All right. So I'm watching you play now. All right. So I'm gonna show you. Okay. So this is good. So we're getting right to the topic. So put the
This
bishop.
is as far just to
Yeah,
be clear, this is like as far into an opening as I
Yeah,
understand.
yeah.
how to do.
Okay. So can you watch my? Are you able to watch like the stream? Are you able to watch my stream also, or can you see like the arrows?
I could. It would be better. It would be better if you just like shared it in Discord, like
Yeah.
shared your screen.
Also, I realize like we might technically be cheating and your account might be banned on chess, but that's okay. You just make a new one.
I don't give a fuck,
Yeah,
dude.
you don't care. Yeah, that's fine. It's just a thought. It's like occurred to me that like, oh shit, yeah. Cool. All right. Damn. So, how do I? Oh, I guess I could share on. I could share add a screen, right? So let me see if I can add it. Share my screen. There.
Cool.
Can you see my screen now?
Yeah, yeah. For sure.
Okay. So are you able to see when I draw arrows?
Yeah.
Yes. No.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah.
Can you see
Like,
my
try it
arrows?
again? Yeah,
Can you see my arrows?
yeah,
Yeah. You can see it.
yeah, I can.
Everything works.
Yep.
Okay. And then I'm gonna hit the cool. All right. I think we have a good setup. Okay, so
So like my
this is good. So the
initial
first thing,
thought is like,
okay, so that's the Scotch. That's the Scotch. So I was gonna teach you the Italian, but the Scotch also. So you have a good instinct here, which is striking in the center. So, okay, so here let's practice. So this one, let's practice the end game. Okay, so we're gonna take and we're gonna trade queens with him basically. So we're gonna take everything on e5. So pawn takes. If pawn takes, we're gonna trade the queen. Okay, we're gonna trade the queen and go into endgame immediately. It's good. All right, free pawn on e5. Free pawn on e5. Take the free pawn. You get a juicer there.
Yeah.
And now I'm thinking bishop c4, castle. Maybe the other bishop comes out to g6. Again, we're just playing very principled here, right? Okay, so basically the reason why we started trading pieces is because, so if you go back in this position, so you're still able to see my chessboard, right? Okay.
Yep.
So the reason why we trade in this situation is because when we trade, he either has to take with the king or the knight. And either is bad for him, basically. So if he takes with the king, we know that's bad because he can't castle and we get quick development. And if he takes with the knight, he drops the pawn, right? That's why taking there is like good. In general, if you get a chance to like trade queens like this, just like take the queen on the opposite side of the board early and like force him to knock castle, like that's generally good, and you should do it when you get the chance. So
it's worth the trade of the queen if I can prevent the castling and
Sure,
like
yeah,
the development on the board.
yeah. If it's an even trade and you prevent him from castle, like we're happy to take like good end games where we're faster developed than our opponent. Okay, so now we're gonna go with knight c3, which puts our knight out, right? We want to put our knight out and defend the pawn. So our pawn's hanging. Let's not hang the pawn. So let's go. We're gonna go knight c3 here. Yeah, knight c3 protects the pawn, right? Let's think about what our opponent wants. Our opponent has to find places for the bishop and the knight. So if knight c6, what do you do? If knight c6, would you take or not?
Knight c6.
If knight c6, are you taking on c6? Okay, so he goes bishop there. Here, I think what you should do is... Okay, so your knight's pinned. Your knight's pinned, and you have to do something about that. So I would probably go maybe bishop d... I would go bishop d3 here. I would go bishop d3 and protect the pawn, right? So we're in an endgame now, so the pawns like matter. Each pawn has the potential to become a queen. The pawns really are like, you can think of them as like little baby queens. Okay, so let's play the bishop to d2, and we're gonna basically break the pin, stop him from pinning us. So let's go bishop d2, and our plan maybe is to long castle.
Okay.
Yeah. Our plan here maybe is to long castle and just every move we're putting our pieces on better and better squares. And okay, let's not lose that for free, right? Let's not lose the the knight. So let's drop back, and we're gonna drop back to f3. I'm gonna drop our knight back to knight back to f3. So I think here you might lose a pawn here, but okay. So now I would probably long castle. Now I'll probably long castle. I would castle queenside, yeah. And this just gets us. So the power of long castling is when you're basically ahead in development and your king's relatively safe. Castling long is generally more powerful than castling short. In general, castling short, I think of it as a defensive move, but castling long, I think of it as an offensive move. And here's why. Because when you castle long, your rook comes onto the d file, and the rook basically is like ready to go, right? Your rook here has the open d file, but when you short castle, your rook is stuck behind the f pawn. It's like the general idea of like why long castling. I consider it to be more offensive move here. Okay, so now we'll go like h3 here. And we might run out of time, but that's okay. If we run out of time, we'll just like queue for another game. We're trying to win the bishop pair here. If he trades,
well, we've got the board control. It seems like
yeah.
we're
So,
ahead on the board by a fucking lot. So
we are. Yeah, we have every single one of our pieces are playing right now. And basically, okay, so he gives up the bishop pair, which is huge. So recapture with the pawn here. Recapture with the pawn. And this is like the first nuance. I'm kind of throwing you into the deep end here straight up, because most like chess coaches would tell you like doubled pawns here are like bad, but I'm actually going to tell you that this is fine, because like basically in chess, like whenever you give up something, like there's many factors to consider, right? Whenever you give up something, you also usually gain something in return. So here, like giving up the pawn structure, you actually get the open g file to attack on. So we're gonna throw the rook onto the g file now, right? So rook on the open file. Let's get the rook onto the nice g file, and maybe we're thinking about bishop h6 here, right? We're already thinking about bishop h6 here.
Yes.
Yeah. So rook, yeah, right. So when you think about which rook to move, always think about like, okay, where, like, because you can either go we can either move the D rook to G1 or the H rook to G1. In this situation, we want to move the H rook to G1 because our other rook basically wants to go on the other 3 files, right? And so based on that, like, you would move the G rook. Okay, so now he's threatening a pawn. He's threatening a pawn, and we have to like decide whether we care about this pawn or not. I think on balance, we probably do care about the pawn. I wouldn't let that go for free. Let's see if we can defend it. I might go bishop back. I might go knight back. I might go knight forward. I might go knight. I really want to play knight maybe back. Let's see. I also maybe want to play rook forward here, just to protect our pawn laterally and maybe put our D rook behind the G rook. Again, I'm just thinking about how to attack down the open file. I'm thinking about how to attack down the open file right now. And let's see, what do I want here? Here he has rook H. He has knight. In that position, he has knight H4 attacking our rook. So we might push. Actually, we might also push. If we push, is our center structure compromised? Also, we could pin him. We could pin the knight. We could pin the knight also. I think that might be winning, actually. Pinning the knight takes. So if we pin his knight, then knight takes. What if bishop takes? You take. So if bishop takes, yeah, I would pin the knight. I would go bishop g5 here, and I would pin the knight to the rook.
Cool.
Yeah, and if he takes, yeah, so if he takes we take the knight. We take his knight here. We take his knight with our bishop, yeah. And now we're winning. Now we're winning because after takes, you take back here with the knight. So you take back with the rook. You take the knight back with the rook. And so this is a classic attacking pattern here with the rook on the open file. You stick the bishop, or sometimes this bishop could be a queen. Bishop could be a queen, or it could be any piece. So the combination of this open file plus like a attacker in front of the king, oftentimes it's just really strong, and it can be often tough for your opponent to deal with. Okay, so now he's attacking your bishop. So you can play bishop takes. I would play bishop takes. Bishop takes, and then what will your follow-up threat be? It would be check. So now, like, your rook is pinning the pawn, right? So I would play bishop takes pawn here. So bishop takes pawn. So bishop takes pawn here, and he's basically cooked here, because no matter where you move your bishop now, it's check, right? Doesn't matter where you move your bishop, it's gonna be check. So you're gonna have okay. So he's trying to protect that way, but I would consider, okay, so you shouldn't slide back here. I would maybe
14 seconds.
Yeah, 14 seconds. That's fine. So I think you're forced to trade rooks here. You have to go in and take the rook, and then after that you retreat the. Here you have to retreat the bishop back. Yeah, I'm kind of throwing you into the deep end here.
No worries.
Basically, we saw opportunity for a good end game, and then so he resigns. So, oh wait, no, actually he won on time. So my next moves here in this position. So let's just keep going for a second. My next moves when I look at this position are probably going to be bishop f6 followed by pawn e5. I really like this bishop f6 pawn e5 idea because it will keep the position locked down. You can see the bishop here, right? It controls it controls so many important squares near the king. It prevents the king from moving. So if you just put the bishop here, for example, and then let's say he passes a move, and then you drive the pawn in, the bishop and the pawn here protect each other, right? And you can see it's tough for him to deal with because if you take the pawn, the bishop takes back. If you take the bishop, the pawn takes back. And so this guy right here, this formation, just it keeps his pawns in his position and his king just like permanently stuck, right? And I would maybe think about like swinging the knight in here to like start delivering checks. And the king has like not that many good escape squares. So you can see here the king has only 2 squares. It has the h7 square and the e8 square. You can see the f8 square. Everything else is cut off, right? These 2 squares are cut off. And you're just making this king, very uncomfortable here in this situation. I would really try to probably swing the knight in here somehow to like start giving checks. And I would maybe swing this bishop over to pin the pawn. And also in the long run, I would run the pawns down the board. Okay, let's play another game. Let's keep on playing another game. And
So basically, from what I've gathered here, we've dominated the board. We've like created an oblique like across A1 to H8. Like we're kind of going across there, and we're just like putting as much pressure as possible
basically,
against
yeah.
these noobs.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
if both players make it out of the opening, then like most of chess is just about, okay, how can you put your pieces on the best squares possible, and how can you put your opponent's pieces on the worst squares possible. So like this bishop and the pawn here are like super strong. This is like killing his position, right? Because it stops and it really restricts him from moving. Okay, let's go ahead and queue up for another game. Are you in another game?
So near 10 minutes, is that what I pressed? Or?
Yeah. Let's just need 10 minutes, and we're gonna keep queuing up for games here.
Yeah, we'll black this stuff.
Yeah. The end games, the end games. Okay, we're gonna try to see. Okay, let's watch. All right, let's spectate here. All right, e4. Yeah, I like e4. Let's see what he plays. So if he goes, I have stuff to teach you against for e5, e6. Again, it's just I'm gonna play like very simple chess. Just we're gonna attack the center, put our knights and bishops out, and castle, and then try to outplay from the position. And then as like as our opponent does,
just,
like yeah.
E5, you think, or
what did you say?
E5?
No, well, what did you say?
Or, like,
I said I have lines prepared against like most things Black can play here and can just show them to you as they come up. But basically every like
I'm Black.
Yeah. Oh, you're Black? My bad. I thought you were.
Oh,
okay.
Cool. They aborted.
They aborted. Okay, so.
I got a restroom real quick, but I'm listening. So
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Alright, let's do some puzzles while we wait. Let's throw in a puzzle rush so we can keep the stream running and being efficient. Yeah. OMG, wrong hope. Basically, yes. I mean, it sounds very simple, but in practice, like, yeah. In practice, it's like, it takes some work usually to figure it out. Hey. Alright, welcome back. Go ahead and queue up for a game. And,
I do 10 minutes, so let's go.
Yeah.
Trying to stomp a noob.
Yeah, we're gonna do some curb stomping. Okay.
So we're Black again.
Okay, let me watch your game. Okay, so let's watch this. Let's go ahead and watch this. So you're Black. Okay, I'm gonna flip the board. Alright, there. So E4, okay, I'm gonna teach you the Caro-Kann. So I'm gonna teach you the Caro-Kann today. And it's basically a solid opening. So I'm gonna go C6 first, okay? And the Caro-Kann opening is designed to basically fight for the opening in a safe way. The next one I might teach you teach you the French. So Karakhan is basically this idea that we're gonna build like a pawn chain on the light square. So we're gonna throw in d5 here. We're gonna go d5, and then takes we're gonna take, okay? And we're gonna put our light square bishop out. Okay, so takes we take, and then the point is to put our light square bishop out. By the way, I played this opening like maybe you guys doing a coaching stream. That's cool. Yeah, this is a coaching stream. Okay, so now we're gonna. So he's trying to kettle his bishop, which just means tucking his bishop. So we're gonna put our bishop on g4 here. Let's go for the pin. We're gonna restrict his knight, stop him from moving, and we're just giving him some problems. Right now, you'll see that his knight can't move because it's pinned. Right? If he moves his knight here, what do you do? This is kind of like 101, but just like if he moves his
I
knight,
like that a lot.
Yeah, tell me what you're gonna do. If he moves his knight, what are you gonna do?
I mean, if he moves the knight, we take the queen, right? I
Yes,
mean,
correct.
it's like
Yeah,
bishop for queen.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. And just to get a gut check, like, so let's play e6 for now. We're gonna play e6, and we're gonna build this like wall of pawns in the center. We're gonna build a wall of pawns in the center. So now you can see here, right? We have this like little pawn chain, like this 3 in a row type of thing, and this is good basically because the pawns protect each other, right? F protects E and E protects D. So this setup right here is basically like this is like a pretty pawn structure. Like once you play more, you'll grow to like appreciate like, okay, this looks like this looks like something that makes sense. Okay, so now we need to put
We're making a line, right?
Yeah. Okay, so now we're gonna we need to figure out where to put our pieces, right? So this game, I might try. Should I go on a crazy? Should we go on a crazy kingside attack or not? I'm thinking about bishop e7 and run the pawn down the board for a pawn storm, but I think that's like maybe a little. I think that's maybe a little too much. So let's go bishop. So, okay, the way I'm approaching this position, we need to find a place to put our knights and bishops, right? Now,
yeah.
I'm thinking about knight f6 here. But the thing about knight f6 is, okay, put the knight on f6, and okay, so you could do that. So there's basically two choices for knight f6 or knight e7 in this situation. Both I think are fine. And let's go bishop. We're actually gonna throw in this h6 idea also. Thinking about, let's throw in h6 because we want to prevent the bishop from pinning us here. So we're just gonna throw in h6. We're gonna restrict the development of the enemy pieces, right? Think about where you want to put your pieces, but also think about where your enemy wants to put their pieces, basically. So we're not worried about this check. This check seems good, but it's actually just like helping us, right? Because we're gonna block with the knight, and we're gonna get our knight out. Yeah, and when he checks us here, he's just helping us like put our pieces on better squares. We don't have to be afraid of that check. Now, there's a pawn in our position that's like undefended. It's not being protected by any other piece. It's totally unprotected. Can you tell me what pawn in our position right now is unprotected? Take a second, just look at our board. We have 7 pawns, right? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Which of these pawns are undefended? Please tell me. See if you can which one is undefended here.
By undefended, you mean like?
I mean, it's not being protected. It's
protected. Right?
I mean, yeah, we have. I mean, there's a pawn in our position that doesn't have any protection. We don't have any pieces protecting it, right? Which pawn in our position is undefended?
The b7.
The b7 pawn, right? So as we play, we always need to watch out for undefended pieces. That's like when you have an undefended piece, like your spidey senses like should be like going off. You should be like, that spot in my position feels a little tender, right? It's like a soft spot in your position. And when they take, that means you have nothing in your position that can take back, and then you're just like losing a pawn, right? Okay, now
Even
tell
if we
me.
b5, like we and threaten the queen, like the queen can just take, and
Yeah,
we can't
so
do full follow
we would
back.
never go
Right?
b5 here. That's just a free pawn, right? That's
Right.
just a free pawn. All right, now tell me which pawn in his position is unprotected. He also has an unprotected pawn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Which pawn in his position is unprotected? Lucius drop off, yes. Okay. Quoting Danya Naroditsky, you're a man of true taste. That's excellent taste right here. Because I learned, like, the reason I'm like 1900 on chess.com, I mean, I emailed him for coaching. I'll pay this guy like hundreds of dollars an hour for coaching because he's the GOAT. You should watch his stream. He's like really one of the, he's like half the reason like I'm 1900 in the first place. I can beat people in chess. Okay, so which pawn in our opponent's position right now is unprotected, right? Using the same line of reasoning. Which pawn in his position is not protected by any of his pieces?
Like this comes to mind.
Which one? Tell me the coordinate.
Uh, B B2,
B2,
and
right?
then like C3.
Is C3 protected or is it unprotected? So
Oh,
C3
yeah,
is protected
he can
twice.
take with B2. Yeah,
Right. C3 is actually
that
protected
one's
twice,
protected.
right?
That one's definitely protected. This
Yeah.
one is,
Yeah.
and then yeah. So just just B2 is
Just
unprotected.
just B2. Good. Okay. Now, I'm going to ask you a follow-up. B2 is protected twice. Can you tell me sorry. C3 is protected twice. Can you tell me which two pieces are protecting C3?
Yeah, the pawn at B2 and the knight at B1.
Good. Okay. So I'm gonna keep throwing these at you. I'm gonna keep throwing these at you while we play, just so you can get a sense of like, okay, what are the weak spots in your opponent's position, and like what can you start taking for free? Okay. Now I'm gonna ask you another follow-up question. So now that we know that B2 is unprotected, is there a move that we can make that would threaten to take the pawn? Because we know it's unprotected, right? Which means if we take the pawn, they can't take us back. That pawn has no protection. How can we make a move here that threatens to win the pawn? How can we attack the weak pawn on B2? Give me a move that can attack it.
Okay. Hmm.
Let me know if you want a hint, by the way. This is
I think it would be good.
okay. All right. So we abandoned that game, but let's just keep queuing up. We'll just keep queuing.
Yeah,
We'll just
sure.
keep queuing games. Yeah. So, by the way, the answer there was Queen B6. Queen B6 attacks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Queen B6, you're threatening to win the pawn, right? Let's say he wastes a move. Bam. Right.
Yeah, he can't do anything to
Yeah.
take the queen. Cool.
Yeah. That's like
Sweet.
this is like the foundation of like how you win games. So it's like you have to have a sense of, you have to have like spidey sense of like, okay, where's like the weak spot in like your opponent's position where you can like start to apply some pressure and like make him uncomfortable, right? Okay, let's queue up.
So pawn D4 from white.
Okay, let me spectate you again. Okay, so you're playing black again. We're playing black so often. So D4, okay. So, D4. Should I teach you d5 or knight f6? Okay, abort it. Okay, just queue for another game. I guess you have to start a game in like the first first minute. So just queue for another game. Queuing up.
We're in.
You're in. Okay. Let me flip the board. Okay, e5, e4. Okay, I'll teach you. Okay, I'm gonna teach you the French first, actually. So let's go e6.
Okay.
E6. I'm gonna teach you the French setup. Would it be good or bad to trade off the dark square bishops in that position? It would be. It depends on how the trade is done. It depends on how the trade is done. So in a vacuum, like in a vacuum, I probably wouldn't trade the dark square bishop, because in the Caro-Kann, so I'm responding to OMG Wronghold, by the way. In the Caro-Kann, you will notice, like, in that previous game, we had, like, a pawn wall on the light squares, right? So the dark square bishop's, like, kind of important because you're covering, like, all the squares that your pawns, like, aren't covering. So unless you're getting, like, something for the bishop trade, I probably wouldn't do it. Okay, so now we're going to play d5. We're going to play d5, and we're going to fight for the center here. We're gonna fight for the center. Play it. No, okay. Did you mouse slip that? Okay. So don't lose your queen. So
so you meant pawn d5, right?
I meant pawn d5. Yeah, I meant pawn d5.
Okay.
Yeah. So okay, drop our queen back to g6 because your queen's about to get hit by the dark square bishop after he pushes the pawn. So drop your queen back. Yeah, we're gonna dodge. Okay. Okay, so your opponent blunders, actually. So he's losing. Okay. Actually, I kind of gave you the answer a little bit, but there's something in his position that you could take for free right now. Which piece is it? There's something that you could take for free. I just want to see if you see it or not. So, yeah, OMG Wronghold, like, the answer is, like, it would be...
So, like, I could take pawn... G2?
Yeah, pawn G2.
For free, it seems like?
Yeah, pawn G2, it's free, but there's like some mild okay, so he doesn't know how to punish you. Basically, there might have been, if he's like a really good player, he will give up that pawn and play for rook G1 and like win tempo against your queen, but you're 600, you're 500, they don't know how to play like that, so yeah, they're not gonna punish you for. So let's just get our queen to safety. So we stole a pawn. Let's go to h3 so we don't get hit with temple. And then our goal is to just get the queen to safety. Okay, so we're gonna try to play knight out and then bishop out and then also a castle. So basically, the answer to OMG Wronghold is like, in a vacuum, if you just took the dark squared bishops off the board, like I think the position would get worse for black in the position that we were looking at. But depending on how the trade is done, like you might be able to justify it in some situations if you're creating, like if you're damaging the pawn structure, for example, or yeah, or mainly if you're damaging the pawn structure, or if you're like winning a critical temple or something like that. Anyway, he has like knight g5, but I don't think he's gonna find that. Okay, so let's just take this game, and we're just gonna keep. I'm just gonna keep throwing things at you. So, okay, one of the principles in chess is like you're not supposed to bring out your queen too early, and the reason why you're not supposed to bring your queen out too early is because like your queen and your king are like the most valuable targets in chess, right? They're worth the most, so you don't want your you don't want your most valuable assets to be exposed to like the enemy crossfire like that, right? You don't want your most valuable assets to be caught in the enemy crossfire for no reason. And so your queen right now, there's like problems. Your queen right now, he has moves here to like target your queen and like force you to waste a bunch of moves, right? So like the level 1, like this level 0 thinking here is like, oh, I'm just gonna play moves because I didn't see that this is a weak pawn, and therefore I'm just not gonna take it. The level 1 thinking is like, okay, that's a free pawn, I'm gonna take it, right? And then like the level 2 thinking that's gonna like start to push you like above like 1600, 1600 is like, okay, I'm taking a pawn here, but he's gonna hit me with temple, and he's gonna force me to waste a bunch of time like moving my queen around, and in the long run, the pawn like isn't going to be worth it, right?
Right. You want to
Which is like
develop the board early.
Right, which is like the basis of like gambits, basically. So, all right, I basically pointed out like one move for you, which is like knight g5, right? Knight g5, you can see how that hits the queen. Can you see that knight g5 hits the queen here?
So,
Are you able to see that? If white's
yeah,
knight
you're
goes
saying he moves knight.
right. I'm saying that if his knight comes to g5, right, like that, it would be attacking your queen,
Yeah.
right? And then you would be forced to move your queen, right?
Right.
You could also, for example, go rook here, and then like maybe here, right? And hit your queen this way. And then you would be forced to move. And you wouldn't have like many good squares to move the queen, basically. Alright, let's queue for another game, and we'll just keep going.
I'm white this time, finally.
You're white. Okay, so play e4. We play e4. We're gonna play e4.
Cool. This is my standard move.
Yeah.
That-
Okay. So good. All right. So against this, I like to play Gambit. Okay. So let's learn about Gambits now. So we're gonna go d4, and we're actually gonna lose a pawn. Okay. We're gonna go d4, and we're gonna lose the pawn. I'm gonna show you like the Leonhardt. I don't know what the Leonhardt is.
This
Like, we're gonna play this Gambit, and I'm gonna show you the principles of Gambit play. So, e4 and d4 are both like striking at the center, right? So,
Yeah.
basically, the point of a Gambit is to make your opponent like waste a bunch of time, like taking stuff, and then while your opponent wastes time, you're gonna get all your pieces onto the best attacking squares, and then you're gonna like land a knockout punch. Basically, is the gist. Okay.
Sure.
So now you're gonna go knight c3. So you're gonna put the knight out, right? You're gonna go knight c. You're gonna play knight c3 here. So now you're threatening to win back the pawn, right? And then after his next move, your move is most likely. So now we're gonna gambit f3. We're gonna play f3 here. And the point of f3 is you put your opponent in a dilemma, right? So if your opponent doesn't take the pawn, you're gonna take back, and you're gonna have the full center, right? You're gonna have 2 pawns in the center, and he's gonna have 0 pawns in the center, and you like that. You like having pawns in the center. But, right, if he takes you, then you take back with the knight, right? And so he's helping you put your pieces onto better squares. He's helping you get your pieces out like fast, basically. Okay, so now you're gonna go bishop c4, right? And we're gonna ignore like what's happening here. We're gonna ignore what's happening here. You're gonna go bishop c. You're gonna go bishop c4 here, and you're gonna ignore like what's happening here. You want him to take you here. You want him to take your pawn. So you're gonna go bishop c4, and in this position. So again, I want you to look at the black position again and tell me there's 2 pieces in his position that are unprotected now. Which 2 pieces in his position are unprotected? So there's a pawn in the black army that's unprotected, and there's also a piece in the black army that's unprotected. Which 2 pieces are those?
so b7.
B7's unprotected.
How many takes?
Right. B7's unprotected, and what else is unprotected in his position?
Another pawn or just another piece?
It's a piece. It's not a pawn.
Okay. Cool. This rook is pretty protected. There's nothing that
Okay.
attacks it.
Okay. Sorry. So aside from the rook, yeah. So the rook is unprotected, but what else? There's one more. So I missed the rook, but there's one more piece that's unprotected.
Interesting. And it's not a pawn.
It's not a pawn, right? Your opponent has a piece in his position that's not protected by anything else, which means that if you take it, they can't take back.
I guess this rook right here at f5.
So I'll just tell you the piece. The piece is the bishop. This
Yeah,
bishop here,
bishop. Sorry.
bishop's unprotected. Okay. So now we're gonna push in the center. We're gonna push him, and we're gonna kick his knight out. We're gonna say to his knight that you can't. We're gonna tell his knight that he can't stand on the c6 square. We're gonna kick him out. Now this is one of the benefits of having a big center, is you get to kick your opponent's pieces back.
So you just push the pawn up here.
You just push the pawn, right? You push the pawn and you kick him out. You say to him that, hey, you can't stand over there. That square, right, is no longer going to be a safe square for you to put the knight on. And basically you force him to have to make a move, right? And where is he going to put his knight? Maybe e5. I think if he's smart, he'll put his knight on e5. Or you might drop back here. Okay, so he goes knight b4, right? But I think in this position,
It's like, yeah, everything that he can take, I can take back. So
right. Everything in your position is basically, it's basically protected, right? It's basically protected. So let's think about our opponent next move. Next move, he's probably going to go e6, letting his bishop out. I'm thinking about a3, kicking his knight out, and thinking about bishop c. I'm thinking about bishop f4 here, also attacking the pawn on c7. Just give me a second. I'm gonna analyze. I'm gonna think about this position and just figure out what we should do. Think about taking back on taking back on e5 as well. Can we eventually take back on e5? Take back on e5. It looks not that great. I'm thinking about kicking his knight one more time. If we kick his knight one more time, where does it go? Okay. All right, let's do this. Let's play a3, and we're just gonna kick the knight again. Okay, we're gonna kick the knight back. We're gonna kick the knight back, and kick the knight back, and then where does the knight go?
He has.
Okay, according to the engine, like we just blundered, but that's okay. I don't think he's gonna like find the right move here. So I think.
Here, I just take.
If takes.
Here.
Takes. Basically, takes. So yeah, basically the pawn. Okay.
Yeah.
So he doesn't find it. That's fine. Oh, we're playing this. So you can see here that we're kicking his pieces out and we're putting his stuff on. Pushing e3. Is that it? I have no idea. E3. Pushing e3. No. The blunder is taking on f3 because after the capture chain there, we were basically not winning that. So look, so after if it's knight takes, queen takes, pawn takes, and then your queen's under attack, and you don't have time to take back here because takes, and then you lose the rook in the corner is the line basically. That's why that was a blunder. So I make like a mistake, but it's fine. It's fine because. I mean, he doesn't find the move, so you get scared and basically doesn't find it. Anyway, so here I would maybe go queen. Yeah, okay. This is like not an easy. This is actually surprisingly like not that easy. I'll go queen. I'll go knight. Maybe how can I?
Wait, what does he have to defend against the check on b5?
The check on b5, he can push the pawn.
Oh, the pawn.
You can push the pawn. Okay. Yeah, you can push the pawn, and also you could drop the knight back or the bishop back. So he actually has like a lot of defense.
Sure.
He actually has quite a lot of defense. So I would go bishop g5 here. I would go bishop g5 because I really want to recapture in the center and force him to do something here. I would go bishop g5, and then basically our threat is to capture the knight and capture the pawn. And once we capture the knight, capture the pawn, we're going to have the big center. We're going to fat center here. because his bishop's no longer going to be able to. Okay, so I'll go ahead and capture. I would take the knight. Take the knight. Take the knight with the bishop. Take the knight with the bishop. Oh, I meant the other knight. Okay. So.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah. I meant the other knight because basically we were trying to recapture on e4 and just get like a fat center and like roll our pawns down the board. Basically, is the gist of it. So
Okay.
yeah, but that's fine.
Like building this oblique direction between A1 and H8 kind of is what you're getting at.
This oblique what?
Between A1 and H8, like across the board,
Like that? I mean,
is why we would.
wait, I don't understand. Like, so, I mean, I'm not really concerned about anything on the A file right now. Like, nothing important is really happening there, in my eyes.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm still trying to take on. I'm still trying to. Oh, is it your turn? Okay. Take the knight. Take the knight with the bishop. Okay. And the reason why you do that is because we want to recapture on e4 here and hit the bishop. So we're gonna recapture on e4 here. Pawn takes pawn.
Here.
So yeah, and we hit his bishop, and we're like driving. Do you see how like we have a big center now, and we're just like driving his pieces like further and further back. It is like the theme of this position. Okay. So now like I'm thinking about takes. So although we're gonna play it like maybe a little simpler, we're just gonna play our knight. We're gonna play knight f3 here. We're gonna play knight f3 and just put our pieces on. We're just gonna put our pieces out.
Yeah, we're controlling the board like all the way up to 5.
Yeah. 100%. Okay. So question for you here. Should you take the pawn or not?
Well, it's like I like this across the board from H to A, right? So if I like move the pawn, it kind of compromises that a little bit, but I also think it threatens the bishop, which kind of puts him like in a backpedaling state, like we're kind of keeping him in. So I don't mind it too bad.
So
I'm interested to see what your thoughts are, though.
So you never take the pawn here. You never take the pawn.
Okay.
You never take the pawn because the pawn here basically his structure is bad, right? Pawns like to be next to each other. And
yeah,
pawns always want to be next to each other, not in front of each other like this. His pawns here are standing in front of each other. They're getting in the way of the bishop. And if you take him here, basically you would be like fixing his problems for him.
So what about taking c6?
You also never take c6 here. Yeah. So you would just castle here. Just castle.
So I've got 15 seconds.
Yeah. So just go ahead and castle here. Yeah. Okay. Here now I would basically okay, so kill for another game. I think
It's also very helpful. Thank you.
Yeah.
Learning quite a bit.
Yeah, you never take on. You would never take the C pawn or the F pawn there. Like you want the pawn center. You want the pawns in the center
E4?
of the board. Yeah. Okay, let me spectate your game again. 1 second.
What's the bong rip gambit or whatever?
Okay. So let's go e4. Let's go e4 and let's see what he plays. Okay, let's play knight f3. I think we're gonna play a little simpler this game. I want to basically I want to play like ABC chess for a second. I think that last game was like a little too complicated. Okay, so we're gonna play our Italian, our bishop to c4. By the way, we're gonna play our bishop to c4. Okay, and okay, yeah. So in this position. Okay, so you should basically, yeah, that's not a, you should take the pawn with the pawn here and hit the knight. Take the pawn, hit the knight. Yeah, that's why I put the pawn there. I think he wants to go e4 and kick your knight. Okay, so here, so your knight can take two pieces. What can you take with your knight right now? What are the two enemy pieces that you could take with the
I
knight?
can take the two middle pieces.
Yeah, you could
the knight
take
and
the two
pawn.
middle. Yeah, and so if you take the knight, what is he gonna do?
He's gonna just take with the pawn.
Yeah, he's gonna take with the pawn. And then also, if you take his pawn, what is he gonna do? Like, can he? Is there anything he could take back with?
I take the pawn with the knight. He can threaten with the queen, and then like if he takes the knight, he'll have a check.
He would have a check, right? So actually, like my preferred move here is to like do nothing and just castle. My preferred move is to do nothing and just castle because again, castling is like really, really like important, and like we're now concerned about
You're
like
getting an early advantage.
yeah.
a
Okay,
little
so
bit.
now like question, you can recapture. There's two things you can recapture with. What are the two things? What can you take the
The
knight with?
queen and the pawn.
So and what do you take with?
So since you said that like advancing the queen early, it leads to vulnerabilities, I'm inclined to say the pawn,
Right. So
but it
again,
also
chess
like
is a
makes it
game of
weird with
trade-offs. Yeah.
the
Yeah.
advancement
Yeah.
of this pawn. So
Yeah. Correct. You're gonna find like things are gonna contradict each other, right? Chess is a game of like at high levels, there's like trade-offs, right? So one consideration is yes, when you take, you bring your queen out. And your queen might come under attack. That's true, right? But when you take with the pawn, right, what's the drawback of taking with the pawn? Is the fact that you put your pawns in front of each other, right? And
Right.
perhaps even more important than that, the pawns in front of your king, I call them the bodyguards, right? They're in charge of keeping the king safe. And you really don't want to move them unless like you really, really have to, right? So when I look at this position, right, I'm thinking queen out. Yes, I'm bringing the queen out. I wouldn't do that otherwise. But taking with the pawn is just like really, it's like, yeah, it's like real, it's just really, really bad. Okay. So now he's
so
losing a
what would be
pawn.
wrong with like losing the pawn and putting him in check seems like a really good idea.
Losing the pawn, taking the pawn, putting him in check. Yeah, you absolutely,
Yeah.
you should take. So once you're castled, by the way, it's a different ball game. And once you're castled, like, once you castle, like if a pawn is free, then like oftentimes you should take it. Like before you castle, taking free pawns is like really dangerous, and you should really think hard before you take pawns before you castle. After you castle,
I
though,
mean, the
like
guy's got shit now, right? Like our board position is so good compared to his.
yeah,
We've already taken
okay.
a couple of pieces. So
Here's another puzzle. He can block with four things. What can he block with? There's four pieces. There's four ways for your opponent to block this check. What are the four ways?
so
There's
he can
only four things you can
bishop,
block with, right?
bishop, queen, bishop here,
Yeah.
but
So the
then
answer
it's just
is
easy
yeah,
to take a pawn,
yeah. So the answer is
and then he can move here.
These four. Ready?
Like
Bishop,
G7. Yeah.
bishop, knight, and queen. There's 4 ways he could block. I know this sounds trivial, but oftentimes, like, overlooking like a move is like how the games are won. Okay, let's keep for another game. All right, let's keep for another game.
Hey, I just want to say we fucking won one. we won.
Yeah, dude. All right, and we're gonna stick with this nice Italian opening. We're gonna stick with this nice Italian opening. So, we're just putting the.
I'm black this time.
Okay, you're black. What are you facing? Let's see.
So
Okay, let's flip the
E4.
board. Let's play. Let's play E6. I'm gonna teach you the French. Let's play E6. Yeah. And the point of the French defense is okay. So we're gonna play D5 here, and we're gonna control the center. Play D5.
E5.
D5. D
So,
as in Delta.
Here.
Yeah. D5. Good. So now we're controlling the center. And so okay. So the French defense is about this move C5. So we're gonna play C5 now, and I'm gonna show you like what the plan is, okay? So I play C5. And our plan
C5
basically,
with the
yeah,
pawn?
we're gonna play C5 with the pawn, yeah. And our plan in the French is basically going to revolve around winning this D4 pawn by basically applying a ton of pressure to it. Okay. So now we're going to add attackers to the D4 pawn. The name of the game is attacking the D4 pawn. How can you add another attacker to the D4 pawn? We want to attack the D4 pawn. How do we do it? Right. Right now, we're attacking the D4 pawn with our pawn. Yeah, advanced French. Yeah, advanced French. I'm gonna teach the French so I can like.
Queen.
Yeah. How?
Queen B6.
Good move. Queen B6. Good move. Right. So we're putting pressure on the pawn now. Now, if he takes our pawn, what do we take with? Question for you. If he takes our pawn, what should we capture with? If he takes our pawn, there's 2 pieces we can use to take the pawn with. One of them is
So we're in a right, and then with the rook.
the rook. What?
With the rook C5.
Rook C5. There's no rook
Like
C5.
if he takes this pawn,
So if he takes
Or
the pawn,
F5, sorry. Or yeah, C5. So,
right? If he takes your pawn on C5, what do we recapture with? There's no recapture with the rook. Do you mean the bishop?
yeah, the bishop, sorry.
Yeah. So this piece is the bishop. That one's the rook. Okay. So
Yeah.
bishop, and the bishop moves diagonal. So right, and we would capture the bishop, and that's good for you because you're putting the bishop onto a good square, right? He's helping you get your bishop out. Okay, so now
Sure.
I want you to add another attacker to the D4 pawn. Right, I want you to add another attacker to the D4 pawn. How can you attack the D4 pawn one more time? How can you attack the D4 pawn one more time? We're just gonna keep pressuring the pawn on D4.
The knight C6.
Good. Okay. Knight at C6. So let's play that. Knight C6. And again, if he captures your pawn, what do you take with? If he captures the pawn, you take with the bishop, right?
You take with the rook with the the
No,
bishop.
that's the bishop, not the rook. Okay. Let me turn on
Yeah,
that.
well,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mind.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Names.
Okay. So now
So he's threatening my queen.
he's threatening your queen. But we're not worried about this threat, actually. So first of all, I want you to notice something about the knight. So, is this knight? Does this knight have anyone on his team protecting him? Is this knight protected?
Not that I can see now.
No. His knight's unprotected, right? And second, are there any checks that you can give in this position? What checks can you give in this position? You have 2 checks. You can give 2 checks in this position.
Queen?
Yeah. What are the
Queen
2 squares?
B4?
Queen b4 is a check,
And
right?
then,
What other checks can you give?
um,
There's 2 checks that you can give with the queen. I want to see both of them.
with the queen.
Yes, there's 2 checks you can give with the queen. Queen b4 is one of the checks. Where's the other check? Queen b4 is a check. Okay, so the other check is queen a5. Right? Queen a5 is also a check.
Queen A. Oh yeah, true.
Yeah,
True.
queen a5 is also a check, right? Let's play queen a5 here. Let's play queen a5 check.
Yeah, I like that better because it puts the queen over there, and we can advance the board further over here with other pieces.
Yeah.
It's kind of my
Okay.
thoughts.
Yeah. Okay, so he has to go knight back, by the way, because your check was also attacking his knight. Did you see that? You were double attacking the knight and the king. So technically you were forking with the queen there. You were attacking the knight and the queen. So he has to go back. Okay. So let's keep going. And take. So take. I think that's good for you. So now we're gonna let's see what we want to do here.
B4 is what you're suggesting.
No. So now we're gonna play knight e7. I'm gonna teach you this knight maneuver, okay? So our job is to get the knight to f5. You want the knight on f5 here so it can attack the pawn, right? So we're gonna go knight e7 here. I want you to remember putting the knight on f5, okay? Because the knight on f5 attacks the d4 pawn. So we're gonna go knight e7 here.
E5?
We're gonna go knight.
Knight E7.
So we're gonna move our g knight to e7. We're gonna move our knight from g8 to e7.
Okay.
Yeah. Right? And now,
Okay.
now we're
That
gonna
makes
then
sense.
we're gonna swing him over. We're gonna swing him over to f5. The knight goes on f5 in the French. Okay. Okay, good. So now we're gonna proceed with our plan. We're gonna put the knight on f5. Put the knight on f5. So how many attackers do you have on the pawn now? How many attackers?
1,
How many? Yeah.
3.
3, right? How many defenders does the pawn
Yeah.
have?
1, 2.
Good. So if he does nothing here, can you take?
He does nothing here. Can I take? So,
So
I mean, he's got 2 defenders. I've got 3 attackers.
yeah. So
So
you
theoretically,
basically-
yes.
yeah, but then the one detail to notice, by the way, is your knight's pinned. So actually, your knight isn't really an attacker because it's pinned right now. But we'll deal with that. We'll deal with that later. Okay. We'll deal with that. Takes. So takes. So we'll probably unpin the knight. We'll probably unpin the knight by putting the bishop onto d7.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Question for you again. This knight, his knight on c3. Is he allowed to move it? Can he move his knight on c3 at all?
He moves it anywhere, he's pretty fucked. Especially a4. Like a4, I just get a free check, right?
One sec. Okay, he just took. So my point was, he's not allowed to move his knight on c3. Okay. He's not allowed to move his knight on c3 because your queen's x-raying the king here. You see? Your queen's pinning the knight, so his knight can't move, basically. Okay. So, he just took. So what was our plan when he took?
Kind of thinking like bishop.
Yeah.
Take?
Remember? Yeah, bishop takes. Absolutely, bishop takes. Great. That was our game plan. Remember that? Was when he takes, he helps us get our bishop out always. And so now look at this position, right? Black is better here. Black is better because how many pawns do we have in the center? We have 2, right? We have these 2 guys locking down the center. How many pawns does he have in the center? He's only got 1 guy, right? And also, his pawn in the center now is no longer protected by another pawn. It's only protected by the knight, right? So his pawn is like super weak here. And he might end up losing the other pawn. So, okay. So, very important. He's not threatening He's not threatening b5. He's not threatening b4 here because b4, we take the pawn, okay? And b4, we take the pawn, and after he takes your bishop, what do you do? So let's say he goes, let's just pretend he goes b4 here, right? Let's pretend he goes b4, and then you take the pawn there. Let's pretend he goes b4 and you take the pawn there.
b4 after.
So,
I mean, the current move is like he.
yeah. So actually, just castle. You have a
a3
minute
with
left.
one.
Let's castle. Let's castle, and let's see if he plays b4. Let's castle our king out. See if he plays b4. B4 is a blunder. Okay, so he doesn't play it. I thought he might have been close to blundering there. Okay. Now let's play a5 here. We're going to kick the bishop out, or we're going to force him to trade. Okay, we're going to kick the bishop out, and we're going to force him to trade.
So here?
Yeah, a6. We're going to play a6. And kick the bishop out.
So just take the bishop, the queen, is what you're saying?
No,
Or
we're going to play a6. We're going to play pawn to a6. We're going to play pawn to a6, yeah. Pawn to a6, yeah.
Yeah, we have this.
So he has to find a good square for the bishop now. And then we're going to follow that up with b5. And then bishop b7. Our plan is a5, bishop b7, rook b8. Maybe rook c8, actually. Okay, so he takes. We're going to take back with the pawn. Right? And you'll notice again that... Okay. So... What do you do here? What do you do here? Your opponent just made a mistake.
I mean, the immediate thought is like take with the pawn.
Yeah, you should take with the pawn. Absolutely, that's a free piece. Yeah, that's a free piece.
It threatens his other knight too, so he's like
He does, yeah. So he's down a piece.
Automatically on the back foot.
He is on the back foot. And also, you're up a piece. Being up a piece is like huge material in game and chess. Like in Grandmaster games, like being down a piece is like resignable often. Okay, that's a blunder. So take the pawn with the bishop. Take the pawn with the bishop. And if he takes your bishop, what do you do? If he takes your bishop, what do you do there? Yeah, he's just making moves. That's okay. We're just like, yeah, we're just learning. This is like a coaching stream.
I mean, the immediate thought is to take with the queen.
Take what with the queen?
Threat. If he takes the bishop, the pawn, take the pawn with the queen on b4.
So if okay.
Oh.
So let's play bishop c3 here. We're gonna play bishop c3. We'll play bishop c3. So we're hitting the rook. Okay. Now take his knight with the pawn. Good. And when you're done, don't queue up for a new game. Okay, so don't queue up. Okay. So we're going to analyze this game because this game is very instructive and I want to teach you about this position, okay? So we're going to review this game because actually I think this game like covers like a bunch of like really important things that I want to go over. Okay. So let's take a look at the analysis real quick. No, that's not what I want. So we're going to review your game. Izzy, yes, it's Izzy. Pins X-rays, yes. Many things. Pins X-rays. Okay. So I'm going to show you a little bit of, I'm going to start showing you a little bit of opening theory here. And we're going to learn. Okay, so so the setup that I'm going to show you is called the French, okay? And the French, you play the pawn to e6. And the pawn to e6 is, again, you're letting your bishop and your queen out, and you're moving the pawn in the center. So that's like generally like a good move, right? And you're not playing e5, basically, because when you put the pawn on e5, your pawn comes under fire immediately. And as black, you are basically always a move behind. And so you want to kind of play it safe as black. You really want to try to avoid like having undefended pieces as like black in the opening, right? It always feels like a little risky. This move e6 is like a solid move, right? There's nothing in your position right now that's like undefended except the two rooks, right? Nothing in your position is undefended except the two rooks. Everything is like protected here. And so when you go e6 here, you're saying, hey, I'm going to have like less of the center, but I'm not going to have like an unprotected pawn in the middle like that, right? His pawn right now is unprotected, right? So if you go like knight f6, for example, right? That would attack the pawn. And then he would have to do something about it. And then there might be problems, right? I'm just talking general principles now. And so when White sees this move, what he wants to do is he says, okay, well, since you're not putting your pawn in the center of the board, I'm going to play d4 here. I'm going to take the full center. I'm going to put both pawns in the center. I'm going to claim that I'm better, right? But now you're going to hit it with this move, d5, right? And again, you're making this like little pawn wall here in the middle of the board. And if he takes, then you just take back. And this position is completely okay for black. Okay, this is known as exchange French. And you'll see that both of you have a pawn in the middle of the board. The pawn structure is symmetrical, which means like for each pawn, there's a corresponding pawn on the other side of the board. And basically, if we trade, you're just going to put all your pieces out. And we're just going to have an equal position. And that's like okay, basically.
Yeah, especially for black, right? Because
especially for black. Exactly. Playing black, you're always starting on the black foot. You want to stay defensive. So if he takes, basically, you get like a very drawish position. So White here has like a few moves. He could play the knight here. He could play the knight here. Or he could push, right? And by the way, this d5 move is threatening to take the pawn. Right, do you see? Because his pawn's unprotected, right? It's threatening to take the pawn.
Sure.
His pawn's unprotected. So he has to defend the pawn somehow. Otherwise, White's going to be down a pawn, right? Exchange French, yeah. Although, yeah, exchange French is like basically me and my opponent like pre-moving like the first 15 moves and we just like start the
position. It's a pussy game.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So the first variation that I'll cover is the advance, right? Let's say White pushes the pawn forward. He's saying, hey, I have two pawns in the center now, and they're protected by each other. And also, now I have a pawn here on the 5th rank, and I'm controlling squares in your territory, and I'm making your life like a little uncomfortable because how are you going to put the knight on f6, right?
Sure.
The f6
He's
square is like
one
now,
step, like
yeah,
one horizontal line
yeah.
down
Well,
the
white
board.
doesn't try to right, exactly. That's like the one variation. That's true. That's the one good thing about like the exchange French for black is like you get your bishop out. Okay, so white in this position is saying that hey, your knight can't come to the f6 square, your queen can't come to the f6 square, your bishop can't come to d6, and you're just playing with less space. You're feeling a little claustrophobic here as black, right? And you're like, okay, what do I do? Where do I put my pieces out? I'm like kind of uncomfortable. But here in this position, actually, black is going to counterpunch. Black is going to counterpunch, and you're going to say to white that, hey, even though you have 2 pawns in the middle of the board, your 2 pawns are going to be hard to defend. It's going to be hard to keep your pawns safe, and you're actually going to strike here with c5. You have to strike here with c5,
Okay.
and that's the move that you want to play. You're immediately challenging his pawn on d4, and you're going to try to put attackers on it, basically. You're going to put attackers on it, and you're going to say to white, hey, dude, I'm about to put serious pressure on the d4 pawn, okay? And what I want you to remember is your goal is always to target this d4 pawn in the French. So this guy right here, that's like the target. You want to try to kill him on that square, basically, okay? If white doesn't know what they're doing, you kill him on d4, basically. And how do you kill him on d4? So it's the same thing that we saw in the game. It's that you have to put your knight out first, right? Let's say white goes, here for some reason. You just add attackers to the d4 pawn. Here, right? Here. Like, let's say he's just like playing, let's say he's just like not thinking about it. He's just like playing moves. All of a sudden here, look at how many attackers you're able to put on d4, right? How many attackers do you have on d4? You have so many. You have this guy, this guy, this guy. You have 4. You have 4 dudes attacking d4 pawn, right? That feel when you see a French player block in the c pawn. Yeah, yeah. That hurts a little bit. That hurts a little bit. So, okay, right. That's what you want. Is you want to contest this d4 pawn, and you just want to put your knight. You want to put your knights on squares where you're able to exert maximum pressure on the c4 pawn. And also, you're going to say to white, hey, by the way, if you ever take my pawn on c5, you're just helping me. Why are you helping me? Because whenever you take the pawn on c5, right? Whenever you take the pawn on c5, what do you do? What do you do if he takes? What do you do here in this position?
I mean, you've highlighted the f5 with the bishop.
c5, yeah, absolutely. You always just take back with the bishop here, and you say to white, "Hey, you're just helping me put
And
my
now
pieces."
you're advanced on the board.
Right, yeah. You're just helping me get my pieces out fast, and all of a sudden, you've lost control of the center as well. Because once you lose the d4 pawn, what do you do about the e5 pawn? Right? The e5 pawn
There's
just
only
lost.
the knight to protect it.
Right. The e5 pawn just lost its neighbor. It doesn't have any neighbors anymore. Right? So now the e5 pawn is going to come under serious pressure. Okay. So I'm actually going to try to get a French and the Italian game here. I'm going to commentate my game.
Cool. Yeah,
So,
I'd love to watch so I can get some like.
So I'm gonna try to play a French here. Although, okay, so I'm gonna play the French, which is what I've shown you, right? Play the French, and again here I'm just putting the pawns like in this kind of. So he actually takes, and when he takes, should we take with the queen or should we take with the pawn? So we should always take with the pawn here, because when you put the queen out, you don't want your queen to run into. You don't want your queen to run into the enemy line of sight, right? You don't want your queen to run into the crossfire, so we're playing exchange French here. Actually. And we're just going to put our pieces out. I'm actually going to offer him a draw to see if he accepts or not. Just so I can get like another game in. I just want to, just so I can drill in like some opening concepts. Okay, so he pins, right? He pins. And here, we need to break the pin. Because in this position, our knight's uncomfortable, right? Because if we ever move our knight, we will lose the queen. Therefore, we had to break the pin here to allow the movement of the knight. And so here, I'm just putting my pieces out, right? You'll notice that I'm already castled. And white's actually not castled, right? And so, as a result, I may actually try to make his life... I might try to make him trade bishop for knight here, just to see if he wants to take. I don't think he'll take. I think he'll drop back. Maybe I might play ambitiously and play g5 here. But I think that's a little bit too much. I think I've been a fan of this like g5, bishop f5, and then just covering the weak squares of the bishop maneuver. I've been kind of like into that maneuver recently, but I think it's like not good, so I'm not going to play it right now. So now, again, I'm just, you can see here, I'm fighting for the center. I'm not wasting time with like moves like over here or anything like that. I'm just fighting for the center as hard as I can. I'm trying to get my pieces onto good squares, and I'm making my opponent think, right? And here I put my knight out. And you'll notice here, by the way, he has a weak pawn on b2. Again, very thematic. Weak pawn on b2, right? Okay, so now I could take. But I'm going to play this ambitiously. I'm going to shove the pawn in. I'm going to take a little bit extra space here, right? I'm going to fight. I'm going to fight to win the game. So I create a backward pawn here on d5. But I'm going to shove in, and I'm basically going to play for... I'm going to play for a b4, basically. I'm going to try to shove my pawn all the way down to b4 and exchange him here. I'm kind of creating like a bind in the position. Creating like a little discomfort for him. I'm trying to just like make the position as uncomfortable for him as possible. So now I'm going to throw in this b5 move. Maybe throw in b4. And... now his knight's feeling maybe a little uncomfortable. His knight can't come to the natural developing. Okay, now he's threatening the bishop, right? He's threatening the bishop. He's threatening to take it, maybe. Not right now, but in the future, he might take that bishop. Because right now it's protected twice. It's protected by the knight. It's not protected by the knight, and it's also protected by the queen. So you're not worried about it right now. So we're just gonna keep pushing forward. We're gonna go ahead and keep pushing forward here. We're going to keep taking space on the queen side. We're not worried about him taking. And we're not worried about him taking over here either, because we're just going to recapture always. So now b4 is coming. So he jams his knight in the center of the board. So I think I'll oblige, and I think I'll take him maybe. Although I'm not really happy about having to take him. I'd rather not take him if that's possible.
Yeah, advances the pawn.
Yeah. Well, actually, I would love for him to advance the pawn here. I would be stoked to see him advance the pawn, because you'll notice that his rook and his queen are both piled up on the e file. And if he puts his pawn... okay, so he takes with the queen, which is very correct. Taking it with the queen is like what you're supposed to do here. I think that's correct, basically. So now
his position on the board is really strong, it seems like.
He's dominating, for sure. He's dominating, and he's giving me some problems here. Now takes. Now he's threatening to take the bishop. So we have to not let him take the bishop here. You just play accurate. You have to play accurate. So takes, that's okay. Here is a blunder, because he would just take, and that would be forced to check. Here he would basically have to move his queen, maybe. So Do I go bishop d6? I might go bishop d6 here. Hit his queen once. If I go bishop d6, he has to move his queen, right? Does he have to move his queen? Let's be extra certain that he has to move his queen. Yeah, I think he does. I think bishop d6. The problem is like I re-expose the pin, right? I'm re-exposing the pin. So bishop d6, can he take? I take. He takes. I take. He takes. Okay, I'm actually okay with that. So bishop d6. He takes. I take. He takes. I take. And then he takes back basically here with the rook. And then I defend. Okay, I'm actually not mad about that position. Let's go here and see if we get the line. We get the line. If bishop takes... No, actually I messed this one. That's actually a blunder. Bishop takes is a... So actually I have to mess up the pawn structure here because I forgot. After bishop takes... if bishop takes queen, then he can actually capture backward with the bishop, which is wrong. So I have to mess up the pawn structure here, unfortunately. So bishop takes. So unfortunately, I have to mess up the pawn structure just a tad. I will, because I don't want to take this way, and then he takes. So let's try to go here maybe. And did you consider just developing bishop e6? Yeah, I did, but I did consider just developing bishop e6, but that felt like a little... That didn't feel like the most challenging way to play. So now I have like issues basically, but right. So now he's threatening here a mate. So I have to play basically actively here. So I have to try to go here. Basically, my king is like messed up here, which is like a little annoying, but I'm gonna try to fry him on the diagonals here with the bishop and the open G file maybe. I mean, it's kind of like bad for me right now, but at least he doesn't have the knight onto a good position. If I can manage to go here maybe and try to trade the queen off that way, it'll be decent. I do have the bishop pair also. Having the bishop pair, if we get into endgame and I have the bishop pair, I'm also not mad about that. I also wouldn't be too mad about maybe f5 here, gambit the pawn, just to get rid of... Maybe go f5. I would consider f5. I would consider f5 here. f5? I think my best bet is to go f5 here and try to throw away the pawn here. I might go f5 here, throw away the pawn by going queen f6 and protecting that way. Protecting that way, because my pawn on f6 is really weak anyway, and if in exchange for the pawn I'm able to fix everything, then I consider that like a worthwhile trade for me. Yeah, let's go here. My plan is queen g5. I'm throwing away a pawn. I'm throwing away this pawn on f5. I don't want it anymore. I don't want the pawn on f5. We're gonna gambit. We're gonna gambit the pawn back, just so I can get the queen into the game and like unclog my position. My doubled pawns there are doubled. They're doubled. They're isolated. And my king's position is like broke. So I would love to just... I would love takes, and then queen g5, trading queens with him. I would be down a pawn in that endgame, but I would have a bishop pair, and I would have slightly more space on the queen side. So I'll consider that playable for me. It'd be a playable endgame. Let's see what he wants. So takes, so he goes into the line. I also always have this check over there that I can't forget about. Let's take. Let's go into this endgame. So now if the queen takes, he helps me fix my structure. Right, he's helping me fix my structure here if he takes. And crucially, there's no more checks left for him. I want him to take. Because takes, I'm going to recapture the pawn. I'm going to go rook h8 here. Put some pressure on h2, maybe. And
So if he's like dumb and doesn't take, you can just like go for the knight
yes,
d2.
yes, also. But I need to be careful here of checks, yeah. But yeah, this is a fork. And so basically, if he takes, I take back. And you'll notice, right, so you'll notice here, he just helped me fix my structure. Did you see that? Did you see that? So here, these pawns couldn't protect each other. But after he takes, then they do protect each other. So I'm going to go ahead and throw... I'm going to go ahead and...
Because you're missing the G.
Yeah. I'm thinking about pushing here. Definitely considering pushing here. If I push here, where does his knight go? If I push here, if his knight goes to the edge of the board, that's okay. If his knight drops in, I kick him out. The square I'm most worried about here is the e4 square. E4 square for the knight. Because that square is protected by the pawn. And I want to, in that position, play... Let's go f6 first. We're gonna stop the knight from jumping into e5, right? You always want to be careful of like squares that are protected by the enemy pawns that you don't control. We call those like outpost squares, where basically if a piece ever lands on that square, you just have no way of kicking him out. You want to be careful about that. So for example, like I would not play a move like f5 here. I would be very cautious of playing. I would be very hesitant to play. So now I think I'm going to take once. So if I take once and he goes here, he's threatening a check on... He's threatening a check on f5. Oh, I could do nothing also. But I think I'm going to take and then go... I think I'm going to take and go... Takes, I'm gonna throw in... Okay, my king looks a little airy. You have to watch out for... I have to watch out for issues. So, my king looks a little airy, so I have to watch out for this rook move. This rook e6, I probably play rook... Yeah, I saw that move. Okay, here I'll probably just trade rooks with him. I want him to trade rooks. I want him to trade a pair of rooks for him. So I'm driving the position of my king forward here. And I want him to trade rooks with me. So I put my king onto a nice square. And then maybe we swing our rook to h8, attack the knight. Oh, what is he? Oh, I just blundered. Okay, I forgot he could fork me there. I made a mistake there. Yeah, he actually forks me there, and I lose my, yeah. Cause he takes my pawn with a check.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so that's a blunder. So can we? Takes. So I'm gonna try this actually. Yeah, and then we have to lose this with check, unfortunately. Anyway, so I mean that's like an idea of like how to play the French, basically. And all right, I mean, but it's still like 3 minutes, so I'm gonna try to flag him here. Maybe make a pass pawn on the edge of the board. He's maybe gonna take here. He's probably most definitely gonna take. In fact, I'm gonna pre-move this move. I'm gonna pre-move. Okay. So now how's he defending the knight? I'm gonna bring my... Okay, so he's attacking my weak pawn. I just have like a weak pawn here, so it's like not a great position. Even though I'm like down material, it's still like not a great position here. Okay, let's drive my king forward. Let's play actively. I'm gonna drive the king forward here. We're gonna try to make a pawn break here. Oh, we blunder another fork. Okay, I resign this one. Yeah, I ended up blundering a fork there at the end, but like that's just like the general gist of like how to play like a nice French defense, which I don't usually play, but
Wait, no, this is super helpful. So a fork, just to be clear, is like you're threatening two pieces, right?
What?
A fork
Yeah, a fork
is
is
like
just
when you're
hitting.
threatening
Yeah,
two pieces.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So actually, after this, it's only plus 3 plus like 0.35 here according to the engine. So actually, like this was like a decent like recovery, but this move was wrong. This move was wrong because it allows the rook penetration. I had to. What's the best move here? I had to pawn break immediately. Oh wow, I didn't realize. So I just give this up. Ooh. Wow. Engine play here is tough. So I have to basically just go all in on the before yeah, wow. I had to basically just keep driving forward, yeah. Cool. Alright, I'm gonna play one more game just so I can queue up on the ladder and go over some concepts. This position is too hard to play as a human. Yeah, I mean it's basically like playing for a draw. It's like okay, I'm gonna play Italian. I'm gonna show you maybe some Italian cheeses. Let's see if we can get Italian. I'm gonna show you some Italian cheese. You basically
Mozzarella.
yeah. Yeah. Okay. So let's see what our opponent plays. Okay, so our opponent is playing this Caro-Kann, which is like, I think of the Caro-Kann and the French as like very related openings. I'm gonna try to, I might play some like theory here. So h4 here is threatening to trap the bishop here if he plays e6 as a blunder. So this is like some chess theory. Okay, so I'm gonna show you like a cool theoretical line here, but the theoretical line, even though like you have to memorize the moves are played for a reason, right? They're not just like engine moves that are somehow winning, and they're not just like engine moves that like are somehow winning, but you don't understand like they're winning, why they're winning. So you go here, and basically the plan in this opening is to shatter the opponent's pawn structure with e6. That's the plan. You're going to play early e6, and you're going to make him play f takes e6. And basically by making him play f takes e6, you're going to destroy the pawn structure here in the middle of the board. And by destroying the pawn structure, you're basically like sending his pieces into jail, basically. He's going to have trouble putting his dark square bishop out, and you're going to try to trade the light square bishop, and basically you get a position where black has a really hard time getting any of his pieces out. I think the theory move, so he takes, so now our plan here is to trade the light squared bishop, and when we trade the light squared bishop, you'll notice here also he has a weak square here on g6, which we can give a check with our queen, and he also has a weak pawn on e6. So this position is, it's theoretical, but it also like makes a lot of sense to play. Like it's strong. It's strong. It contains like a lot of ideas for white for a reason, and it's because of this. You'll notice here that by pushing this pawn and making him capture with the f pawn, he has this weak square here permanently on g6, and he also has a weak pawn permanently here with e6, and his also bishop is trapped. His bishop's trapped here, and he's unable to like do. He's unable to like do. He's unable to accomplish like really anything meaningful, at least not quickly. So I'm thinking about giving a check here. I'm out of theory now. I don't really know what you're supposed to do after this. I think the move here is knight c, or is it to give a check with the queen? Could be. I think it's to give a check. I think I have to give this check. I give a check with the queen here, and basically I force this king to go on a king hunt, go on a king walk. And now I think I would really like, I think the move here is, Or is it here? Is c5 ever a problem for me? Let's think about this position critically for a little bit. I'm thinking about bishop f5 here, cutting through the dark squares. I'm thinking about knight b3 for the quick queenside castle. So about bishop f5, bishop f4. I'm thinking about knight c3. I think the right move might be knight c3. I'm thinking about f4, just to make a square for my knight so I can eventually jump in here and give a check. Do I want queenside castle here, or is that considered too slow? Okay, I think I'm going to go with knight c3. I'm going to play this intuitively. I don't know what the theory move here is. I'm trying to go for a quick castle on the queen side. So he's also trying to take the queen. But I'm going to drop back here. I don't think I'm ready. I don't think I'm quite ready to trade the queens yet. I'm going to drop back. I'm forcing him to play with a king on d7. He has an ugly king on d7. And now I think what I'll do is... Okay, so he's threatening to jump forward to b4 and hit the queen and threaten the fork. So I'm gonna stop him here. I'm going to stop my opponent from jumping his knight to d4 because I don't want him to hit the queen and also threaten the fork at the same time. So it's very important to stop that move. Now he's maybe thinking about c5. c5 I probably just take. c5 I probably... Or I could do nothing. c5 I could also go bishop e4 here. I mean, I'm very happy to just play this position ABC. I'm happy to just play this position by developing all my pieces and castling queenside because... Long term, his king on e7 is... His king on d7 is like, okay, what is your king doing on d7, right? What exactly? Oh, I think that's a blunder. Takes, check. Picks off the knight, doesn't it? Am I crazy? Takes, check. Where does his king go? Yeah, that's a blunder. Takes, check is a blunder. Takes, check is a blunder. Oh, unless I counter blundered. Does he jump his knight in with temple? He might try to desperado the knight and force me to take with the pawn. Anyway, this line is extremely theoretical, but it's also extremely powerful, which is what I like. What I like about it. I think I'm gonna drop the knight back here. He has no knight jumps, right? I have to be a little bit careful about moving the bishop here. Moving the bishop here is risky because moving the bishop here is a little risky because I will undefend my b2 pawn, which is a little weak right now because it's only protected by my bishop. So once I move my bishop, I don't have to protect my b2 pawn. Anyway, I'm thinking about pushing here. Think about pushing here. Okay, so he's attacking my weak pawn. I might go knight e3 here. Feels like it makes a lot of sense. I'm getting ready to castle kingside. Even though my kingside position looks a little suspicious, it looks a little weak. He's gonna have trouble maybe breaking in and actually applying meaningful pressure onto my position. Okay, so he goes there. I think I just ignore him here. Or I could take here, take there. Take there, what does he do? I could do nothing, and yeah, I'm inclined to do nothing here and just cast. So do I take or not? That's very important. I could also give a check and go for queen trade. I could do nothing, I could take. Do I want to take? Actually, well, if I take, also he jumps his knight in, right? That's the main problem. I don't really want him to jump his knight in with the temple. So I'm just going to do nothing here, and I'm going to castle. I'm going to castle my dude out. I'm castle my king out. And now if he takes, I have to watch out for the attack on the dark square here. I have to watch out for the attack of the queen on the dark square here. I have to watch out for that. think about jumping my knight in here, attacking his pawns. Think about bringing my rook onto e1, attacking his pawns like that. Think about swinging my queen over again. If he takes, so he pushes. Pushing, I think, is wrong. Pushing, I think, is very bad here, basically. I think pushing is very, very bad. It's contrary to what the position really demands. Okay, now I'm thinking about where to drive my knight into. Think about driving my... Think about just scooching my queen here and playing knight f3, knight in. Seems strong. I might want to target the e6 pawn. Let's play for the weak e6 pawn here. You'll notice that the e6 pawn here in particular is very weak. It cannot be protected by any of its neighbors here. And so I'm going to pile up pressure. I'm going to jump the knight to f5 here. Threatening, by the way, to jump into g6 here. And also attacking the weak pawn on e6. Again, the pawns like to be near their neighbors, right? The pawns want to be surrounded by their neighbors. And this pawn here, unfortunately, doesn't have any neighbors. It's all alone by himself. It's stranded. And again, we have to watch out for the diagonal here. The diagonal here could be very risky potentially. And again, a good thing about this position is that his dark square bishop is totally out of square. So we definitely don't take. Never in a million years would we ever want to take here. Because taking, he's going to take back. I don't want to open the rook, right? I really don't want to open the rook. So I'm going to jump forward here. I'm going to hit the rook once. And I'm going to hit the rook once. And after he moves his rook, I'm going to push. I'm going to close the position down to prevent him from taking, right? So he really wants me to take him and have an open rook in this position. He really wants me to take and have a nice open rook. But he misses the fact that I'm going to hit his rook first. And in the time that it takes for him to move the rook, I'm going to shove my pawn forward. And by shoving the pawn forward, I'm going to close down the position and basically deny like any potential pawn trades. And again, no pawn trades, no open files. So without any pawn trades here, he's really going to be struggling, right? Because now I'm secure. Even though it looks like there's a lot of air around the king, which there is a lot of air around the king right now, he's unable to make any pawn trades here. The pawns here, you'll notice, are locked. The pawn cannot take here. And, yo, what's going on, dude? And the pawn can't take on the other side either. So you'll notice that the pawns there are blocked. And let me get back to commentating the position. Okay, so and our knight here is permanently stuck, right? He has no way of kicking our knight out with a pawn, and so his position is just getting every move. His position just gets more and more uncomfortable. So I think I'm doing like pretty well here. I think I can maybe swing the knight over here. I'm still wanting to pressure the backward e6 pawn. I'm gonna go here and continue pressuring. I'm gonna mount the pressure on this e6 pawn. Right, this e6 pawn is super problematic for him because, again, no neighbors. This pawn here has no neighbors here, right? And it's very tender. It's a very tender point in the position. And even though, again, the king looks a little bit airy, there's no pawn trades here. There's no pawn trades anywhere in the position. Okay, so he moves his knight back. But when he moves his knight back, right, I'm thinking to myself, okay, but where is he driving the knight? He's using his knight to protect the backward pawn, but also I have a check. I have a check here with the knight, and I can route my knight back onto e6. And after I check the king, where does the king go? King can't go here, can't go here. So the king really only has what am I doing? Yeah. The king only has 1, 2, 3 and 4 squares to go to. You'll notice that the king's feeling a little bit uncomfortable, and wherever the king goes, I maybe potentially have follow-up checks in that position. So let's maybe we could also maybe potentially take that backward pawn here, right? We also have 2 minutes left in the position, so let's not dilly-dally for too long. Okay. Let's not dilly. We're gonna drive our other knight deep into the position. We're trying to go deep in here. We're trying to plant her knights deep in, and stop him from being able to kick him out. You'll notice that here, again, the knight on c5, once I get the knight on c5, how is he ever going to kick my knight out, right? There's no pawn move in this position that could ever kick my knight out of c5. It's totally a weak square, right? And so once I drive my knight into c5, again, he's not going to be able to kick the knight out, and I'm slowly but surely suffocating his position. I'm running him out of squares, like one move at a time, basically. And the rook and the queen, again, they don't have really many good targets, because the only target here is the b2 pawn, which is protected by the bishop, right? B2 pawn is protected by the bishop, and now if you give me another move, I'm going to go c3 here. I'm going to strengthen the pawn. I'm going to get this nice connect 3 going, right? Which is what I like. I'm going to have a connect 3, and he's also going to have a connect 3, but the tail of his punch. So now he goes here. I'm going to throw in this check. We wanted to throw in this check, right? And again here, he cannot kick the... Oh, I blundered. I shouldn't have made that move instantly, because he actually blundered here. He blundered a check. He blundered, but I also blundered. Anyway, but there should be plenty of more blunder opportunities in this position, because our position is just like very nice right now, and we're not really worried about like anything bad necessarily. How many bitches does chess get you? 0 for now, but I'm starting a chess club, and we're gonna change the game, dude. I'm starting a chess club here in Austin, and we're gonna change the game, dude.
Dude, you get me to show up, and I'll just bring the bitches.
Yeah. That's the game plan. We gotta build out the marketing. We have to build out the sales and marketing funnel, if that makes like any sense at all. We have to build the sales and marketing funnel. Anyway, so we missed our opportunity to win the game on the spot, so we're gonna have to like slow play. Takes. So takes. I think I might want that. Do I want that? I don't really realistically have anything else. I mean, this position looks pretty tied down. It looks kind of tied down. It looks a little. Okay. What can chess get you? A 7? Chess, you can actually, feels like 8 pluses. Actually, in Bushwick, Williamsburg, they do. They actually do, because there's like, we're just gonna trade everything. Oh shit, I missed a check. Is it perpetual? I blundered perpetual here. You're stuck with some Botez. You're saying Botez is a 7? What is a Botez to you? Okay, we're just gonna trade everything. I'm down to trade everything here. He has to spend time also protecting his weak spots. Okay, let's go rook here. We're gonna put rook up, bishop there. We're gonna bring the king. He still has no squares. Our opponent has no squares. Botez is a 7. Botez? Yeah. Botez is a 7. I like the older Botez. It feels like she's got like a good head on her shoulder. And yeah, it just feels like she's like a pleasant person to like, spend time around. Okay, let's go here. And again, our knight's permanently stuck. Refreshing. If you think Botez, that's because you're trying to get bitches with the fucking chess club. Okay. Anyway, let's go here, and we're gonna go here.
Yeah, I'd spend some time with her.
We're gonna check. You're what? You what?
I'd spend some time with her.
You'd spend some time. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Okay. Here. We need to go. We need to go bishop up. We need to get our bishop out. Okay. So he goes there. But again, these checks are really those checks are just incredibly nasty. Check. Where does he go after check? He has to go back. I mean, the checks are coming. Oh shit! 37 seconds. Okay, excuse me. I need to lock in. 37 seconds. Let me pre-move this move. I'm gonna pre-move this. I'm gonna pre-move this one. I need to here, maybe here. Maybe here. I'll consider. Okay, let's just go here. We're gonna hold the position. He's tied down. He's totally no money. No, what's the point of this? No money. You're wrong. You're wrong on both counts, actually. You're wrong on both counts. We're gonna get both of these things done. You gotta think long term, bro. We're trying to build a pipeline here. Prove you wrong on both counts. Okay, that drops a pawn though. Okay, 18 seconds. Doesn't. Okay, let's go here. Whew. Oh wow! Holy moly, that's a good move. Okay, you can't stop the passer. He can't stop the passer. Can't stop the pass pawn. Go. Pre-move the promotion. Here. Here. Dude, we're gonna have a chess everything, dude. We're gonna I can hook you up with some Jack Daniels. Yeah, that would be cool. Anyway, so that's a dub. I mean, also, dude, I enjoy like playing chess, as you may or may not be able to tell. I mean, like, I like I can make some money with like chess. Like, it's fine. I will like I have a deal. I have this like deal with like with a very powerful guy. He's like paying me like a fucking shitload of money right now. That's what I'm saying. Well, the thing is, like, okay, let me put it to you this way. So, if you could make like if you could make like 100 million or like 150 million, right? But the thing that made you like 100 million was like playing chess, and then like you'll never make 100K with chess, Norman. Okay, well, I'm not gonna argue with you. Actually, I'm not gonna. Okay, I don't want to spill too much. I don't want to spill too much alpha on this call. I don't want to spill too much alpha live on Twitch, but you must believe I'm doing this for a reason. There's like anyway. Let's keep going. Whew. Yeah, I don't want to spill too much inside. I don't want to spill too much inside information. But we have like I have like some moves that are available to me that are not available to anyone else. Anyway, Izzy, do you want to play, or do you want me to keep going?
I'm down for you just to like keep going.
Like, do you want me to commentate your games, or do you want me to play and commentate my games?
I think like you commentating your games is pretty helpful.
Cool.
Okay.
I'm
trying to like just like sink in everything that I've learned.
Cool. All right, so let's go for classic Italian. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna play this like classic Evans Gambit. I'm gonna throw in the pawn on the edge of the board and play for quick center. I'm throwing a quick center, and yeah, I'm gonna throw in this. And basically, we're gambiting pawns, and like we're just Anyway, also I knew
And like
there's
the
like
common
like chess clubs, by the
Go
way,
ahead.
like in New York are like after school chess programs in New York, by the way, are like big money. By the way, Jack, just to like give you a little bit of context, like I think my friend worked like a summer job, and the chess tutoring company he was with paid him like 15 grand plus housing plus a car over the summer. Basically, like they got like a house in the Hamptons, provided for him, and then like he would just like go around like all the rich families and then tutor their kids like after school and chess programs. There's money in anything, dude. So they're just like there might not be like $100 billion, but dude, there's fucking like money in like knitting, probably.
like just from my noob commentary here, like you're pretty advanced on the board
Yeah,
in
Spencer,
this
don't
position.
don't
Like
leak
you're
the don't leak
controlling
the
the
alpha.
center.
Don't leak the alpha. Yeah, this is basically. I don't want to leak alpha about my current. I don't want to leak alpha about my current role. I'm just saying that even like I was literally a professional chess coach back when I was in New York, and yeah, even like New York, I wasn't like really maxing out. I was thinking like $40 an hour, like and then like 100 an hour for like private clients or something like that. You just gotta have like I would much rather do this than like work like fucking Deloitte or like KPMG or some shit. You know what I mean? Anything that you can sell, dude. Anything. It's all about like if Supreme. Let me put it this way: if Supreme could sell a brick for $30, I can fucking sell chess lessons for like $500 an hour, dude. I'll just put it to you that way, okay? Put it to you that way. If Supreme people pay $30 for a fucking brick, pay me fucking $1,000 an hour for chess, bro. You gotta find the right sales and marketing angle. That's okay. What do I want here anyway? He's playing this like okay. So I'm like very comfortable in this position, so I can take like as long as I want basically, because he's basically almost cooked on the spot here. He's basically almost cooked on the spot. Here. Where does his knight go? His knight goes here. His knight has like no places to go, basically, right? His knight, look at this. His knight can't go here. It can't go here. If it goes here, I'm gonna take him. I'm gonna shatter the structure, and basically, how is he? I want to go queen here and try to double up, team up with the bishop, and just attack the pawn. Team up with the bishop, I might attack the pawn. Right? I might team up with the bishop and attack the pawn. I'm gonna maybe attack the pawn. I'm team up with the bishop and attack the pawn there. Thinking about it, but there's always knight a5 here, double attacking, but now I have check, then he goes in. And then you have queen in, maybe? Do I have queen in here? Here. Queen in. No, my queen can't stay on the diagonal, basically. Okay, so I do. What about d5? Think about d5 also. Think about d5. d5 also looks decent. d5 knight a5 though. d5 knight a5. And he hits the bishop. Quick chess question if you don't mind. Sure, yeah. Okay, so basically, I have to go here and I have to stop knight a5. I have to stop his knight a5 move. Because the reason why all these things don't work, I'm thinking about queen here, team up with the bishop, right? So the reason, right, now I have queen b3 here. There's no knight a5. And because knight a5, I just take in that position, right? I can also take this way. Let's go. I can also push here. But pushing just takes, so I think we gotta go queen b3 here. Put some pressure on him. We need to put some pressure on him. We need to put some pressure. Now our queen and bishop are teaming up. They're lining up on the f7 square. And, okay, now, right, there is no knight a5. That's why we went the bishop there. To stop knight a5, very important. And now we're up a piece and the game's over, basically. So this is GG. And resign. And resign. Okay. He's not resigning. So we are gonna... Would you rather have a chest grip big... I'm like a tits person myself, dude, personally. Like, yeah, I gotta go with,
Damn.
gotta go with, like, fat titties. Gotta go with fat titties. Can't go wrong with, can't go wrong with bazongos, you know what I mean? Okay, let's go here, here, here. Yeah. Check. Now I have this, right? I'm still up a piece. I'm up a full piece. This game's just like totally, I mean, it's completely just over. I'm clipping that for X. I mean, hey, dude. Whatever, you know, you gotta do it for the, you gotta save for content. Gotta save for, you gotta get the content.
You gotta get the clout, dude.
You gotta get the clout. Anyway, I can drop back. Okay, this is, you gotta watch out for, I gotta go here first and hit the queen because he's about to come here and hit me over here. So yeah, we have to stop him. We have to stop him from cooking me over here. All right, that's fine. We can trade it. Okay, but now I have. Wait, no, now I don't have this. Okay, let's just take here. Take ones. Think about bishop there or knight here. Think about bishop. I go bishop in. Think about bishop in. Think about knight in. I'm gonna go knight in. Oh no, I blundered. Oh wait, no, I didn't blunder because I'm counterattacking the rook. Okay, my bishop's undefended. Yeah. Again, the common theme I guess I'm trying to say is like undefended pieces. Like undefended pieces are like big liabilities. You can see, like, yeah. All right. Now I think I will. I'm still up because I picked off the rook there. Which is huge. Anyway, now I'm trying to sneak into the 7th rank. I'm trying to sneak into the 7th rank, hit him on the 7th rank, jump on into the center of the board, hit him on the 7th rank, and get my queen in and try to cook him on the 7th rank here. Okay. Now I think now I want to jump my knight in. Now I jump my knight in. Let's drive the knight in. We're gonna drive the knight in. We take the pawn. We drive our pawn down the board. We're taking on b7 maybe. b7 is undefended. We're trying to get into the 7th rank. We're trying to. Okay. Does not. He tries to defend his pawn. Okay, so now we need to try to pry open his. We're gonna try to pry the defense open. Here, maybe? No, that doesn't really work. Here. My rook's undefended in all these lines. Might go back here. Just trying to get a queen trade also. Let's get the rook into the game. We're gonna improve the rook. We're gonna improve the position of the rook. We're gonna improve the position of the rook. Okay. So he goes in. Hang on one second though. Wait, I could push technically because he can't take because it would be check over there. Okay, let's make sure we go here maybe. We could go knight in, we could push the pawn. Let's go. I want to jump I feel like it's some combination of jumping the pawn. How do I get a queen trade also? I really want a queen trade if I could get one. Okay, let's just go here and hit him once. Oh my god, I just blundered. I just literally just blundered. Sure, yeah. What's up, dude? Yeah, I blundered that one. Even though we were just like winning on the spot in the opening. Yeah, I missed. Okay, let's play this Evans Gambit again. It's just super strong. It's super strong. If you know what you're doing, which I know exactly what I'm doing here. Okay, let's go here. Okay, let's go here. Let's say you have 2. Oh yeah, this is the classic. You go with the 10 here. You go with the trans 10 because you always got to go with the trans 10 because you have to evaluate, like, you have to do like a factor analysis, right? It's not about, like, you can't overweigh like the it's not about like overweighing like the genitals, you know. It's like you can't overweigh, but she has a dick. Yeah, that's fine. But a dick is like what kind of genitals you have is like only, you know, that's only like 10% of like what makes like a person, right? You gotta consider like the full package. You can't assign like undue weight. Also, maybe she like post-op, right? Maybe she's like post-op. She's had surgery already. It really is like a no post-op, but she has the full package. Yeah, that's fine. Still, yeah. Like it's all about like you gotta consider the full package. Anyways, this is a blunder because I take here and I check him and then I pick off the bishop. So classic check on f7 blunder, which is the weakest spot in the position, by the way. Is that pawn on f7 is very weak, right? It's very weak. Trans 10. Okay, I could trade queens, but that seems bad. Why would I trade queens when I'm like literally like up a bunch? Let's go here. And I'm threatening this guy. Just pinning everything. Yeah. Okay, let's push. Crack the center. If pawn takes, I'm winning on the spot with this bishop pin. The bishop pin just wins on the spot. Bishop pin wins the game on the spot. Because you'll see the queen and king are lined up together. Yeah, this is a... Wait, no, actually... Okay. So unfortunately, he might get a queen trade, which is not what I want. Please play pawn takes. Please play pawn takes, yes. Pawn takes, game over. Okay. Chess question, yes. Keep the chess questions coming. Okay, we just snapped that and resigns. And resigns. Okay, so our opponent resigns again. Highly recommend this Evans Gambit line if you like to attack, if you like to put big pressure. So our opponent's playing the French, so this one's going to be a very... I'm going to get a lot to talk about in this game. So again, we covered this variation of the... the enemy king surrounded by us. How do you exit? The enemy king surrounded by us. How do you... Yeah. Let's see the Tara. Yeah. I love the French, by the way. I eat Frenches for like breakfast, lunch, and dinner because I get like I always get like this crazy attack on like the light squares, and I gambit the pawn. Yeah, this is already bad because he's running into this move with tempo here. I'm gonna make a pocket for the bishop. I'm gonna line everything up. In the long run, I put the bishop here, bishop back, queen up, rook c1. I get bishop h6. I get pushing the f pawn forward. I get jumping the knight in. I just get. This is exactly why we play the Tarrasch. Yes. Oh, dude, we are bad. Like yeah. Okay, so now I could go here. Or I could wait for him to develop the knight. I think if I push here, he's gonna go knight in and out. Right? So I'm gonna actually put the no. I'm actually gonna play my knight first. And I want him to play knight f6, e6. Knight f6, I play e6. Okay, he doesn't play knight f6, so that's also helpful. So, well, if he played there, so he just goes there instead. So that's all right. So I'm just gonna go here. Wait, 1 second. Is he blundering this guy? No, he's not blundering. But is it worth throwing in this check? Is it worth throwing in? It's probably forces this either c6 move or it either forces c6 or like the knight has to defend or the bishop has to defend. Okay, but I think it's like not that good basically. So I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna go here. I wonder if he's gonna take or not. I'm spending a move to deny knight f5 here. I'm making him waste a little bit of time. Doesn't play knight f5 off the bat. I'm just making him think a little bit. I love playing against the French, dude. Playing against the French is like such a fun activity. It's just 20 moves of like me attacking the opponent. Oh, okay. Anyway, so what's your question, Daniel? So Jack Daniel, so the answer is like you sack the queen and you force the rook to take the queen. Once the rook takes the queen, then you give a check. So the typical smothered mate involves the king on h8. It involves the king on h8, right? It involves the king on h8, the rook next to the king, the 2 pawns here. Then you give the knight check on f7, basically, is like how you do it. Anyway, so the Tarrasch is like super fun. The Tarrasch is like extremely fun. I wonder if I played that perfectly or if there were inaccuracy. Opponent resigns. So you get like a crazy attack. So you go here, and knight f6 you push. Knight e7 you go. I thought here. He's out. Yeah. So yeah, he's out. Pretty close. Here. What's the best? Let's go here. Where? I don't. Okay. And then here. So basically, the attacking. There's so many cool attacking ideas. So let's say he castles, right? Immediately, like right off the bat, you just have a castles. Let's say he goes this typical C move. You would then maybe shove this pawn to e5. E5 prevents a knight from ever going on to f6. So you go here. You can often just go. I mean, our pieces are like a little tangled here, but you probably go like here, and then here maybe like you rotate the knight. Start by rotating. Oh, it's already Greek gift. Look at it. It's already Greek gift from here. It's already Greek gift. It's already Greek gift and a mate basically. It's already Greek gift and you checkmate. So this is why we love playing against the French as white. This is why we play the Tarrasch. It's already Greek gift, and yeah, it's incredible. I love those types of positions. Okay, let's play the Carol. Let's see if we can get back to 1800 on stream today. I've been missing being 1800. Let's throw in this knight move. We'll play the exchange carol. That's okay. Exchange carol, very bread and butter. We actually might take and try to win that pawn. I'm feeling ambitious. Okay, he goes bishop back. Can I punish him for moving the bishop twice in the opening? I don't think so. Okay. I'm just gonna play normal moves. Now I have a bishop laser beaming the diagonal, stopping his. So I'm gonna rotate here. G4, I'm gonna rotate back. G4, I rotate back. G4, okay. There. I'm thinking about F6 here actually, but I think that's too. I think F6 is too dank. F6 is a little too dank for my taste. F6 is a little dank. Castle. F6 is a little dank. Now I'm gonna try maybe to set up a battery here and try to checkmate him on H2. Yeah, okay. That move makes sense. So, what's the best way to protect B7 here? Rook B7? I'm gonna have like some soft spots here. Or maybe I just like say, hey, I don't care. Take Rook B. I could allow take and Rook B8 him. Rook B8 looks strong, actually. Rook B8 looks strong. Because I'm winning the pawn back and I get the rook to the second rank. Right? I get the rook to the second rank. So maybe I just ignore him. Maybe the play here is just to ignore him. I might just ignore him. Do I take once here? No, I don't take yet. It's not time to take. Okay, let's spin around this way. We'll spin the queen and the bishop around. We'll reroute everything. Threatening takes and mate. Threatening queen up, takes. We're gonna go queen up. We're gonna go takes. We're gonna go checkmate on H2. And if he takes, then we hit him with the rook B8 and penetrate to the second rank. So we're keeping the ideas alive in the position. We're just keeping everything. We're keeping everything alive. We're trying to. If he takes, we win the bishop pair. And okay, so he goes for the pawn. Okay, I think I'm gonna throw in. Do I rook B8? Do I queen D6 him? I could queen D6 him. He could take. I take. Queen D6. I could queen D6 him. Do I queen D6 him or do I rook B8 first? Do I rook B8 or do I queen D6? I think I rook B8 him. I think I hit him with this rook B8 move first. Wait, what is it? Oh my god, I just blundered. Wait, did I blunder? No. Actually, takes. Okay. Luckily, that wasn't like such a bad one there. It's just I ended up simplifying the position down a little bit. Okay, so he's +1, but he has to defend that. And okay. Weak pawn over here. Target the weaknesses. Let's throw in. Okay, in the long run, do I make this trade or not? Okay, I have 7 minutes left, so I'm doing well on time. Or do I shove the A pawn forward and try to trade like that? Okay. I think I need to massage the position a little bit first. I need to massage and soften him up a little bit. Let's throw in this move. Takes. I'm okay with that. I want to soften this chain up. We still have the bishop pair, which is good for us. We have the bishop pair still. Let's take ones. Okay, now we're gonna go here and hit the weakness. Again, look, we're laser beaming. We're laser focused on like enemy weaknesses. We're always like looking and seeing, okay, where does the enemy have like a weakness that could potentially put to good use? Okay, I might spin the bishop around. Where does this bishop belong? Here, maybe, targeting these two. I could even sack. Is the sack any good? No, the sack is complete garbage. I should not sack here. That's complete dog water. Okay, I think I'm gonna rotate the bishop back like that. Let's play accurate. Play very accurate. Okay, so pawns rolling. Pawns are rolling. Pawns are rolling down a board. Okay, we need to play very carefully here. So I'm gonna go knight here again. I'm trying to lock down on that weak pawn right here. So now I have this pretty nice looking bishop and knight blockade. Looks reasonable. So I'm gonna pull the bishop back, tickle the rook. Again, just trying to keep the bishop pair alive. We're targeting the weakness on c3. We care about the weakness on c3. Okay. I noticed that his rooks are on dark squares. So maybe in the future, we might skewer him on the dark squares. Not right now, but potentially. We need to stack the rooks on the c file. His c file is his core. The c pawn is his core vulnerability. The c pawn and the d pawn, the c and d pawn, the c and d pawns are his main vulnerability in this position. He's trying to go for the bishop pair. He's trying to maybe drive the knight in. He's also running a fork. Let's not blunder the fork. Okay. I might have to give up the light square bishop here, which I'm not a fan of, but... Oh, wait, no, let's not go there and blunder the other... Well, if I blunder the other fork, is that such a big deal? If I blunder the other fork, then I just take. If I blunder this fork, I can just take. Take, take. Take, take. Right? So he's trying to put some pressure on my position also. Man, good play by our opponent. Good play by our opponent. So we have 4 minutes left. Okay, he needs to play c3 at some point. Oh no, you know, I should have just went rook c8. Why didn't I just go rook c8 targeting the weakness? I should have just went rook c8 targeting the weakness. Oh, that's bad. Okay, so he trades. Anyway, there's never a c4 here, is the good thing. There's never a c4. I have this knight and bishop blockade. There's no c4 because he drops the pawn and I skewer the rooks and you resign the game from that position. Okay, what else do I have here? Do I have anything here? I need to double on the c file. I need to double on the c file. I like this helpful blockade here. He's trying to go in. Do I trade him once? Do I not trade him? Yeah, I think I'll trade him once. We're gonna target. We're really gonna try to target and put some pressure on this backward c. We need to target the backward c3 pawn. Backward c3 pawn is our target. Also, takes will open the rook. Even though there's no back rank right now, we might swing around. Okay. Same plan. Same plan. We have a dark square bishop. Our dark square bishop is extremely annoying. This b pawn's blockaded. B pawn's blockaded. It has no advancement. Here I take. Takes. We're gonna slowly corral the c3 pawn. And we're gonna win it. And we're gonna try to come out on top in the resulting endgame. Okay, let's go here. Finish pressuring the c pawn. Now we're also threatening to take. Also, we were already. Actually, that move I think was a blunder. Here. Actually, this move was already a blunder because I could have taken and checked. Was looking at bxd4. Yeah, bxd4. Anyways, with that, I mean, this is bad play by both of us here. Anyway, but I can take twice now, so I get what I want anyway. I get what I want. Yeah, bxd4. Yeah. I get what I want anyway. Okay, he's not trading. So now I think I penetrate onto the second rank here. It's the second rank express. We're trying to make it onto the second rank. We just have to make it. Ooh, wait. Blunder alert. Blunder. Wait. Hold on. What am I talking about? This is blocked. Wait, what am I smoking here? It's like freaking hallucinating things. Rook a6, what am I doing? Rook a6, where does my bishop go? Rook a6, bishop d6. Let's go here, actually. I think we're gonna go here, trying to win the pawn. I think this is a strong tactical maneuver. We're trying to give check. He gives this up for free. Right? I'm tripping here? Free. And it comes to check. Okay, he's threatening to push in. He's threatening to make a touchdown here. But I'm gonna give him a check here. So I'm up 2 pawns. I can basically afford whatever I want with 2 pawns. So can I afford to give him a move here? I want to push if that's possible. Can I push? If I push, can I afford him here? Wait. Push here. Rook b8. Rook b8. Rook a8 is coming. So I can't. And I have to. Can I really not? Hold on. Here. Rook a8. And I'm losing. So I can't do that. Okay, so I have to go here first. And here I have to take. Basically I have to give up one of my pawns. You have to watch out for the pass pawn. Okay. Wait, can I just. One sec. Let's blockade him this way. Fixing his pawn on a dark square. I'm fixing his pawn on a dark square so my dark square bishop maintains scope with the b6 pawn. Then I'm going to drop my rook around and win it. And his light square bishop can't harass the rook. It takes too long for him to harass the rook. His light square bishop has no scope, has no access to the b. Okay, I have to play a little faster. I am winning now though. I just have to win this pawn. And then I'm in the clear. I have to win this b pawn, and then I'm in the clear. Win this b pawn, I'm in the clear. Win this b pawn, and then I would be. Okay, I saw that. Now I go here, and I win the pawn. Pretty sure I win the pawn. There's no skewer. There's no barbecue here. Okay. Rook. Don't panic. No more checks. So he's out of checks here. And I'm going to win the pawn, I think. I'm going to win the pawn. Okay, this is coming. No, it's not coming. This is not hanging. That's not a check. Rook h4 check is not a move. Very important. Rook h4 check would be checkmate, but that's not a move. It's not a move. In fact, I'm going to go back and checkmate him like that. So, okay. 49 seconds left. We're going to go rook g3 here, actually. And we're going to cover the escape square of the king and come down for the checkmate. What can I do here? Can I push? Let's push and kick him out. That's not a blunder. Rook h4 still not a move. Very important. Rook h4 not a move. Rook h4 not a move. Rook h4 not a move. G e4 coming, kicking his bishop out. By the way, f4 not a move. I'm just gonna roll my pawns down the board. I'm rolling down the board here. I'm rolling. We're rolling. We're not stopping. There's no brakes on this pawn train rolling down the board. Pawns rolling down the board. Rooks penetrating. Bishop covering the lift. Everything here looks gorgeous, beautiful. His rooks are totally mispositioned. There is no checkmate on h4. If he wants to double or do anything substantial, just to swing all the way. Pawn he coming. Pawn he coming. That's right. Okay, I also have 39 seconds, so I have to be careful here. We're gonna roll. We're gonna... Okay. That's a blunder, though, I thought. Now I'm threatening checkmate. We threaten checkmate. We cover the escape square here. Right? Now he's check. Takes. So now we need to go forward here. Go forward. We're going to knock the bishop out. We need to get the bishop out of here. Get him out of here. Okay. We drive forward. Kick the bishop out. Bishop has no squares along this diagonal. Okay. Keep rolling. Don't stop rolling here. We need to keep rolling. We need to keep the ball rolling here. Keep rolling the pawns down. Keep rolling the pawns down. We're going to kick the bishop out. There it is. Now I think I go here. And now, I think we nail him. Now I think we nail him. Okay. So you go, wait. We gotta play faster here. We're gonna roll the other pawn. We gotta play faster. We're gonna go faster. No, 1 second, please. Go. Okay. Go here. Damn it. I get timed out here. Okay, anyway, that was still not a bad game. I thought that was pretty instructional, and we anyway, run a little too low, too low on time there. We'll talk a little much. Anyway, good game nonetheless. Yeah, that was a very precise game. I thought I played that. I was pretty happy with my play there. Okay, let's load up another game. Let's go e4. Would you be interested in reviewing one of my favorites? Sure, yeah. Send me the game. I'll review it live right now. I'll review it on stream, actually. I'll give you my thoughts. Okay, the modern. So this is pretty much a free win, basically. When he plays like this. Just gonna set up this way. Okay, we can go here. Let's go queen here, and then we castle. Okay, we're gonna go here. This is the main line. Castle. We don't have... We need to castle first. Castle. He's threatening push and kicking my knight out. Do I have to play f3 here? I am really not inclined. Let's throw it in. Throw it in nonetheless. We gotta play this f3. Make sure our pawn chain is solid. Okay. Now we start the pawn storm. Oh yeah, drop a link to the game in the chat, brother, and then we'll review. Push, I blockade. Push, I go. I can just do nothing also. Yeah. I get this blockade with the knight here, stopping the advancement of the pawn. The knight here just keeps the pawn stuck. It stops him from rolling down the board. And once I'm finished stopping him from rolling down the board, then it's my turn to roll. It's my turn to roll here. Here, do I sack the knight? No. We need to roll slowly and patiently here. Go knight h3. We need to build the attack up a little bit at a time. Okay. He's letting me open up the G file. Don't know why he would want to do that. Is he starting to come here and there? Let's get the knight up. Here we just swing around there. It's not scary. I think we're gonna blow him off the board here. This is opposite sides castling. Okay, very important. I don't have rook G. I don't have rook G1 here because he's hitting the knight like that. So I'm gonna go here. Double stack the rooks. Stare down the open file. Stare at the king. Oh, what am I doing? Okay. Okay. I literally... Okay, yeah. I made a mistake there. Okay. I literally called out that move, like, on stream. Like a freaking move ago. Can't believe I blundered that. Okay. So I blunder, alright, it's still not over. Wait a sec. Fork? Fork coming? Fork coming? Fork coming? Oh my god, he blundered also. He counter blundered. He counter blundered my blunder. Such a good feeling. Takes. Do I have a time to take once there? Whew, takes. Takes. His rook has no squares, really. I'm just gonna take one. His rook has no square, so we're not in a hurry to take. It's not urgent to take. Do I have anything a little better than taking? Can I go knight jump? Can I get some bishop action here? No, I think I'm not gonna overcomplicate it here. I'm just gonna take ones. Okay, I'm gonna keep rolling this pawn down the board. No blunder. No blunder. Everything's except the rook. I have to watch out for the rook. The rook is unprotected. My back rank is a little weak. Pawns might be rolling here a little bit. I have to watch out for the things happening over here as well. See, jumping in. Potentially rook d8 happening. Is rook d8 ever happening here? Rook d8, where does my queen go? Okay, let's take once. And then I think I'm gonna go queen back and there. I also have a check. I think I'm gonna throw in the check first. I think this is a good check. Gets my bishop out. Also, I can block off the... Interesting. Knight here coming, maybe? Takes, maybe? Push, maybe? He's almost dead. Let's think. We have 5 minutes. This is... here. Okay. I think the move is taking the pawn here. Because I don't... the thing is, I don't want his knight to jump into my position with temple and just, like, mess everything up. I think the move is taking the pawn here. This is covered. This is pinned. The king's right there. King's right there. We're almost... we're laser beaming down the full board. His queen's in a weird spot, kind of in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, I saw that move. Did I go bishop back and trade in like that? I think I need to keep the pin here also. Here, right? So that's not good. He's also threatening this, but... here. Here. My bishops are looking a little vulnerable right now. Yeah, I saw that. Here, why can't I go there? Here, okay, now we're piling on a G file. Knight has no jumps. No real jumps. I'm gonna go bishop here. Did I miss that? Can I block him once? No, I can't block. What am I smoking? I can't block. Oh my god, did I just blunder? Oh my god, hold on. I'm blundering back rank. No, I'm blundering back rank here. So I have to block. Okay. Sloppy by me. At least he's forced to maybe part with the knight. I mean, we still have good pressure because he can't easily. Well, maybe queen there, defends the knight. Super. That would be a strong move. Opponent finding every move. It's annoying. Well, he's not really threatening to take due to the check. Can I go here anyway? Here maybe? You should have played f4 then bishop e3. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Okay. I like my queen. I'm not gonna move the queen. My queen's in the perfect position. The question is basically where do I put the bishops? That's what this position boils down to, is where do I put my bishop? I think I want my bishop. I like how my bishop's covering many squares also. A4 is interesting. Okay, well, where can my bishop go? I think it's bishop here. Okay, now he's like running into like some issues maybe. Now maybe I do have F4. Let's have this. I also have to pin. Let's throw an F4 here. Here, here, here. Here. I have to constantly watch out about back rank. Oh, I have a check. No, this check can't be right. Well, I can't lose this. Here. Okay. Hitting me. Do I have this? Check. No, let's not. I don't think it works. Okay, let's go here. Defend everything. You might go here or here. Yeah. Wait, no, both of these are covered. I think this is good to go. This move is good to go. Both of these are covered. Now I can maybe swing back, actually. Here, bishop e6 looks interesting. Oh, bishop here, here also looks interesting. Go here, cover the back rank. I could force a queen trade. Unless I check. No, I need to prioritize getting my light square bishop in like this. Actually, let's force the queen trade. Frick it. Let's freaking trade there. Let's go. We need to step up. Pin, 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 pin. Over here. God damn. Okay. Oh, okay. I mean, we run out of time. I should have played F for the bishop a3. Yeah. I run out of time. Okay, let's queue up for a few more games. Let's just spam the carrots. High pressure sucks. Yeah. That was like a very. That's such a. It was a very sharp position near the end. Player Carol. Here we have to take. Okay, here. Okay. Interesting line. Queen E. Blocks the rook though. Yeah, he has that, but we're not that concerned about this tactic here. Ooh, he's weakening. He's really weakening his king quite a bit here. Do I take with the pawn or take the knight? If I take with the knight, I hit his center, right? But I think taking with the pawn. Will you play a game with me? Blitz game. Sure, yeah. Send me a friend request. Okay, I think taking up with the pawn is better because my knight can swing around this way and pressure these two squares. The E3 square is often tender. If I take with the knight here, it allows further trades, which decreases my chances for like a victory. Let's throw this in. Throw this in. We're pressuring the center a little bit. Okay. Do I take here and allow him to trade into me like that? Probably not. Probably not. That doesn't feel right. Do I push? No, I push. I push here. Takes check. Push is good for me. I control the entire... I'm lasering the entire diagonal there. That's good for me. What? Am I losing? Well, hang on 1 second. Wait. There's no queen e4 check. Queen, is he threatening queen h4 here? Okay. Attack the bishop of pawn. Yeah. Yeah, I saw that move. Then g4 coming on us. I might just gambit the piece. I might just let him take the piece back, honestly. Wait. I have to calculate. Here. Here, G4 is coming. So G4 is coming. If I push. Knight F5. Where does the queen go? Queen here or queen there? He has to maintain the pin. Goes queen there. Wait. What am I talking about? Here, what the fuck am I smoking? What the fuck? Okay. Here. So here. I don't have this. And I don't have this either. So it's just a matter of if I want to lose the piece back after having pushed g6 or not, right? Okay. Well, if I'm losing the piece, I would prefer not to lose it having pushed g6. Yeah. I would prefer not to have lost it. Like, yeah. This is fine. This is fine. Now I'm gonna jump the knight in first. I think I can jump the knight and target this square. I'm gonna take first and check. I'm taking check. Okay. Whoa. Okay. He's trying to toast me. Okay. Don't panic. I have here, maybe, no. Can I open up the, okay. So knight g5 coming. Let me munch this first. Let me munch this first with check. I'm just gonna munch that first, and then do I munch again? Here, here. No, absolutely, I cannot afford to munch that. Okay. So G6. No, I don't really want to make the darks. I think F6 here is the move. Yeah, F6 is the move. I have to stop knight G5. I cannot allow knight G5. And the knight here helps me cover some of the light squares. Good, he gives up on the attack. Okay, that's good. He's giving up on the attack. Bishop here. Yeah, just take the pawn first to check. Yeah. Okay, now I can jump in. Maybe I have like some maybe I have like some knight G3 idea. Might have some bizarre. Okay, I'm gonna play this spicy. I'm gonna play this a little spicy. I think I'm gonna try for like a quick rook sack on the H file. I really like this. Hold on, if I play G6, King G, and Rook H8, am I trolling? Would that be trolling? Here, 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 check, here. Let's try it. It might be a little trolling, but it might be a little bit of a troll move, but if it works, it's gonna be freaking glorious. Do you guys see it? The knight's jumping in with check with the rook. Okay, this helps me. King up, rook over. Now I can throw in this. Okay, 2 minutes. Rook H8. I need Rook H8. I need Rook H8. Did I push? No. Did I push this? Nah. Okay, let's just go here. Whew. Wait. Takes. I might sack the queen here, actually. Like, it looks crazy, but I might actually... Takes. Here, or am I ready to sack? Here? No. Here. Okay, you know what? Let's go for it. It still looks a little suspicious, but this, here, I get a passed pawn. Yeah, there was no sack on h2 because his dark squares were I think his dark squares were protected is the problem. Freaking drop that. Okay. Okay, I have to go here. I have to drop a pawn. Okay. I think the sack on. I don't think the sack on h2 was working. I don't know. I thought I cleared everything and snagged the pawn, and I don't know. And I thought it was like a winning endgame somehow. Is that like enough compensation? I don't know. I'm probably just bugging out. Okay, let's take. Yeah, it just seemed interesting. Let's go back. Just defend everything. I mean, it's technically still only like a +2 position. Like, even though it's like pretty suspicious, it's still technically only. Although it probably is completely winning for him. Here. I mean, this is safe. This is stable. There's nothing here. What's your username? It's #1 chess stream. Let's play Blitz. Sure, yeah. Wait, I promised someone a game review. I promised someone a game review after this. I have to click the link and play the game review. Okay, let's just take once. Yeah, I resign. Okay, I have to check the 75 requests with play Blitz, everything. Here it is. Cool, thanks. I promised someone a game review. Okay. What? What about this? Why would I do this? Why would I do this to myself? Oh, Rook H8 here. Rook H8. Oh my god, I found Rook H8 here. I had to allow. Can I type the username? Sure. Oh my god, I had to allow the. Sure, let's play a game first. All right. Let's play Blitz. Okay, let's play Sicilian. I've been playing too many Carol-Cons. There. There is. That fork is dangerous. Here. Okay. Okay, here, maybe? Okay. Whoa. Really? Is it a mouse slip or is this a piece sacrifice? Here. There's no coverage there. I don't get it. Yeah, I don't see it. Really don't see it. I think I'm good here. And I just don't see the threats coming in because the bishop always covers h4, so bishop covers h4 and I don't see how you break in. And I'm gonna use the bishop to defend g7 also. Let's plug the position. Yeah, nobody cares about this right now. Do I have the sack? Sack. Let's take it. Here. Trade. If I trade 2 pieces for the rook, should be okay. Okay, I don't ever have to break the pin. Okay, well. Go ahead and take that. All right, nice game, dude. All right, I'm gonna real quick. I'm gonna go review this. Guys, also do me a favor. If you guys aren't like following, make sure to follow the stream. We're trying to grow this into a big stream here. All right, let me actually review this game. OMG Wrong Live 104. Find a tactic on move 12 for white. All right, well, let's take a look. You don't know why you sacrificed that. Well, yeah. I think we were trying to... Because the bishop was always covering... My Dark Spirit bishop was always defending the rotation of your rook. That's why I accepted your sack there. Because the Dark Spirit bishop was defending your infiltration. Move 12. 4. Yeah, okay. This looks pretty standard. Here. Here. Yeah, that's an inaccuracy. Here. Here, Yep. Yeah. Oh, that's wrong. Queen, what is he doing? Queen there? Yeah. Okay, makes sense. Dude, yeah, this is fucking garbage by him, I'm not gonna lie. Like I would have a field day with this guy. Uh you speak like Hikaru. Yeah, actually like I think apparently many people see that. Here. Dude, what is this garbage? There, yeah, there. Ooh. Am I on move 12 yet? 12? Oh. Oh. And oh. Yeah. Okay, nice, yeah. Yeah, this makes sense. It's just this is like very classic. It's almost something from the Milner Barry. It's like this it's a similar theme in the Milner Barry. There's a similar theme here. So if you're familiar with the Milner Barry, like a common blunder. I mean, people don't. At my level, people don't blunder this, but like here. You go like what? Here. Here. So at my level, people don't blunder this, but at lower levels they do. So takes, check, and you win the queen basically, because the queen's undefended. It's this classic like undefended queen. You give a check with the bishop, and you pick the queen off. Very classic. Very classic. But yeah, nice. That's like a pretty nice one. That's a pretty nice one. All right, guys. You know what? It's 12:35 a.m. We had a nice nightly stream. Make sure to follow if you're not following, and thanks for dropping by. We make some good content, and see you guys next time.